What's up? Let's fucking go, dude. Idubbbz is dead to me. This shit is fucking crazy. Oh my god. You guys like this Jordan B. Peterson tweet? In response to Ethan removing the content or the H3 podcast with him? Jordan Peterson warns him, I should warn you that those who engage in cancel culture generally live to regret it. I'm not going to come after you, except politely, in this Twitter stream, but the chickens will definitely come home to roost. You will be held to higher and higher and soon impossible to maintain ethical standards by the very mob you currently wish to please. Then you will make a mistake, and they will devour you with glee. Please take this warning seriously. I liked you. Well, say what you will about Jordan Peterson, but he's like on the money with that one. Like, come on. Everyone knew he was on the money too, like at the time, but Ethan wasn't willing to listen. Everybody knew that was 100% true. Ethan tied himself to this hyper-progressive, like, cancel culture bullshit. I know it sounds cringe, but it's true. That's what happened. He fucking cemented himself as one of these people who was very politically skewed in that direction. And yeah, he got exactly what he was asking for. I mean, yeah, it backfired super heavily, and now he's in trouble with all the people who are hyper lefties, even more so than he was. But you know, at this point, it's like he's become the most reasonable person. And I think it's because of all of this stuff that he has had happen to him. He's sort of seen that, oh, just because somebody is on the same side as me politically does not mean that they're a good person. In fact, some of the worst people are on my own side. So I feel like that sort of woke him up and made him realize he doesn't have to be super partisan on every issue. He doesn't have to just go along with what the lefties think about everything. And yeah, he is like a left-wing guy still, pretty left-leaning guy, but he is hated by the far lefties for being, you know, from Israel, essentially. No, I don't know. I don't even know. I feel like they hate him because they project these viewpoints onto him, that he's like this ultra Zionist guy. And it's like one of those things where people just repeat it so much that the general public starts to believe it. And that's why he is hated. I think if people actually watched his takes and figured out what he was actually saying, they would not really hate him that much. But yeah. So idubbbz made a video. He reignited an old series, the Content Cop series. Let's turn this light on here. That's right. You thought idubbbz was done with Content Cop? I did too. He said in his apology that Content Cop was immoral. He said it was horrible and mean, and nobody deserved that level of criticism. And he wasn't one to criticize. He wasn't better than anyone else he made Content Cops on. What happened to that, Mr. idubbbz? What happened? Let's see if we can find it. Does he say? Yeah. Here we go.
To acknowledge it. The content I'm talking about specifically are Content Cop videos.
Wait, here.
These videos were edgy.
These videos were edgy, and I think they were outright cruel.
Yeah, I think they were just outright cruel.
What's up, Joe Schmo? I'm sorry, I forgot to say hi, but I saw you the whole time.
I want people to, you know, get it confused.
He is a zombie slave, dude. Something is really wrong with him.
About, you know, where I...
And I think I have a theory. I think I know what it is. Spoiler alert, it's his wife. It's his wife. It's his wife pulling all the strings, gaslighting him, and molding him into this perfect, you know, weapon that she can use against people she doesn't like. But we'll get into that a little later. Let's see what he said.
Stand I have made some cruel, hurtful content, and I need to acknowledge that, and I'm really sorry that it's taken me this long to acknowledge it. The content I'm talking about specifically are content cop videos and videos where I was just generally criticizing people for very lackluster reasons, and
Lackluster reasons. That means that if he ever made a content cop again, it would have to be really important. It would have to be some serious, crimes that they committed for him to make a content cop.
Obviously didn't have any accountability online whatsoever on my end. I was morally grandstanding and acting as if I am any better than any of these people that I was making content cop videos on, and I'm not. I'm a human. I'm a real human who makes mistakes, and I make a difference.
Yeah, that is going to be funny. I still will feel bad for him because part of me still believes that he's deep down in there and she's fucked him up severely. And it's gonna be like, I don't know, what's the best way to describe it? It's not like ripping off the Band-Aid. It's worse than that. It's like when you gotta pour rubbing alcohol on a wound to make it heal faster. It's gonna be that. But yeah, 100% they're getting a divorce, and 100% I fully believe that that idubbbz is going to change a lot when they break up. Like, she fucked him up. She changed him fundamentally. They even admit it on their podcast, and nobody likes to admit this. She did change him. She made him second guess everything that he was doing and paranoid, made him feel bad for not caring about what people thought of him and her online. And yeah, I mean, and here now we have him today. He just seems really confused, and like he doesn't even know why he's mad, why he dislikes certain things. It seems like he doesn't even have good reasoning. He just is doing what he's been told like he should do, idubbbz lets Anissa do his thinking for him, and Anissa lets Hassan do her thinking for her. Yeah, 100%. 100%. I think that we can get more into this theory a little bit, but I think that idubbbz is avoiding very negative repercussions. I think that when something doesn't go Anissa's way, she freaks the fuck out and has like a full-on breakdown. She takes out all her emotions on him, and it like bothers him. And that's why before her, he was never bothered about any criticism online, and that's why he was cool. Because nobody could say anything that would like upset him. He would always come out on top. But after the OnlyFans thing, he suddenly seemed really bothered because she was bothered. It drove her crazy, and he felt the need to like white knight for her because, it was finally affecting his personal life. Even though he wasn't really offended, it was affecting her, and she was having breakdowns, and it was fucking up his quality of life. I think that's what happened. No, this is him. He likes to hang with the popular kids. Yeah, I mean, I really think the popular kids thing is also an Anissa thing, though, to be completely honest. Like, Anissa is just a fan of all of these streamers. She wouldn't be famous or popular or in these circles if it wasn't for idubbbz. So I think that she knows that. She's a fan of all these people, Frogan, Denims, whatever. And, this is her way of getting in with them. Ian doesn't seem to have any conviction in the political rhetoric he was spewing. No, he doesn't have any conviction at all. He's literally doing what he's told and what he thinks is going to give him like the best outcome for his own personal gain. There's nothing principled or whatever about this. Ian is very confused. Ian is very fucking confused all the time now. And he wasn't like that before. He used to be very sure of himself and pretty like strong-willed. He's the total opposite now because he doesn't know what's right and wrong. He doesn't have any of his own logic for believing the things he does. He's just blindly navigating all these things. Anissa's the father he never had to. That's so true. So true. I think she really bosses him around in their private life. I'm not gonna lie.
Set of mistakes than the people I was making videos on, but it doesn't matter. I don't think anyone deserves that level of cruelty or hate.
No one deserves that level of cruelty or hate. Remember, guys, Content Cop is evil and hateful, and nobody deserves it. Nobody.
It's also indoctrinated a lot of people into thinking that this is an okay way to behave, and it's not. It's super irresponsible and shitty. I am very
it's really shitty. It's really shitty, idubbbz.
insecure about my ability to create.
You've indoctrinated me. You've indoctrinated me, idubbbz, to make a Jar Juice stream about you, idubbbz. I'm going to be very cruel and ruthless, and I'm going to hate you. I'm going to hate on you super hard, and your wife. So, yeah, let's take a look. Let's take a look. So what did he do after making this apology saying he would never make a Content Cop again? Well, a couple weeks ago, he was like, all right, guys, I'm going to make a Content Cop again. Another Content Cop is coming out. We talked about this on my Discord. Like, oh, yeah, like, the Content Cop's coming out. It's not going to be on H3. It's not going to be on Sam Hyde. It's not going to be on anyone expects. Because the thing about Content Cop was always that it was a target that nobody was going after, but it was really obvious. And once idubbbz would point them out, everyone would see like, oh my God, he's so smart. Like, how did he figure this out when nobody else was calling this person out? Like, Leafy was hugely popular, and idubbbz was the first person to ever like call him out for his bullshit. And that made everyone, that changed the entire general public sentiment against Leafy. So yeah, I had no expectation of this being H3. I thought, I knew that it was going to be like a politically motivated thing, because it's obvious that's all he's about now. But, I just didn't expect it to be like this choice of person. Like, I thought that he was going to do Steven Crowder or like Ben Shapiro or something like that. But nope, he's going to make a Content Cop on H3. His best friend on YouTube of like probably, 10 years? They've been friends for the longest time. And he decided to, oh yeah, let's leave a nice little comment here. idubbbz pride flag. Yeah, I was writing that earlier. He decided that, you know, this guy has stood by my side, has backed me up in like every drama ever, has promoted my event, and otherwise just seems like he's been a really good friend to idubbbz and Anissa, both of them. But as soon as H3 is getting criticized by people that Anissa likes, like Hassan Piker and Denims, as soon as there's a problem with the people that they want to be aligned with more, they're willing to just drop H3 like that. Literally just willing to backstab him. So, if you haven't seen this yet, check out this roster of all the people who helped create this Content Cop. Hassan Abi, Denims, Sean the Black. So Sean the Black was the guy who made like death threats against Destiny, or like implied like death threats. Frogan, Kirk Honda, I don't know who that is, Noah Sampson, and Matt Lieb. So this guy has chosen a cast of the most lefty, brain-rotted, mentally ill people to help him make Content Cop. And yeah, it doesn't seem like the same person anymore. You're totally right about that. He doesn't even, I don't know, dude. See, he's broken. He's seriously broken. It's always been coordinated attacks, justified AstroTurf. I thought it was going to be someone that Hassan and the waiting room crew were on it taken down, but I thought it would be someone like Asmongold, not Ethan. Yeah, Asmongold would have made sense. Like, it would have made sense. I probably still would have disagreed with it, but that is totally who I would expect it to be on. 3 people mentioned: Ethan Klein, Hassan Piker, idubbbz. All right, I've been rambling enough. Let's take a look at this Content Cop.
Speech is surprisingly dangerous. Consider the
fucking thing in our defense, like, actually Hila's not a baby killer. Actually accusing Ethan of killing his
Yeah, it seems like all H3 wanted from idubbbz was just a confirmation that they aren't the terrible people that the Hassan crowd were trying to paint them as. H3 didn't want idubbbz to co-sign all the politics. Yeah, exactly. H3 just wanted idubbbz to be like, even just privately be like, hey, I'm really sorry you're getting harassment from X, Y, and Z. Like, you know, I'm really sorry that these people are smearing you. Like, I can't like say anything publicly, but I just want you to know that sucks and I feel for you. That is all he had to do, but he refused to do it. Why? Because Anissa, and to a lesser extent idubbbz, wants to be friends with Hassan. They want to be in the lefty circle.
This dog is maybe too far because they have mobilized such an insane harassment group.
By the way, weird ass clip to use for the intro clip.
That anybody who says any fucking thing, they will attempt to ruin their lives. And once again, I'm the crazy one. It's not bad enough.
What is wrong with what Ethan is saying here? I'm not gonna like suck Ethan off. I'm not like a big H3 fan, but he is overwhelmingly right in like a lot of this drama. I have like minor disagreements with him about like some of the anti-Semitism stuff, but for the most part in this drama, he is fully right. This should not be a controversial thing that he's saying. Why is idubbbz acting like this is crazy?
Surprisingly dangerous. Consider the
Fucking thing in our defense, like, actually, Hila's not a baby killer. Actually, accusing Ethan of killing his dog is maybe too far because they have mobilized.
So these are the things Ethan is saying. Hila, people are calling Hila a baby killer. They're calling CPS on us because they're saying we killed our dog, and then they're calling CPS on us. These are the things he's upset about, which is like, are you kidding? That's totally like reasonable to be upset about. What the fuck? None of that is like true.
Such an insane.
All they wanted was for Ian and Anissa to say their house was clean, they were decent parents, and the CPS shit was messed up. Absolutely. I don't even think they wanted them to make a big deal out of it or say something publicly. I think they just wanted reassurance that like their friends support them. But that's too much to ask for Ian and Anissa.
Harassment group that anybody who says any fucking thing, they will attempt to ruin their lives. And once again, I'm the crazy one. It's not bad enough that I have this group of people.
What we do here is go back.
I'm gonna be honest, the cigarettes are so awesome to see. The best part of this video is this intro here. And that's not saying much, but there is some artistry that I really respect about the intro. Like, he did kind of tap into the classic content cop vibe. He did get it a little bit. But however, the content of the fucking video is dog shit. Guys, remember when idubbbz used to hang out with Max Mofo and Filthy Frank and they would smoke cigarettes and make vomit cake? That was actually like the best YouTube days ever. So good. I think the reason that he did this intro was because he's like, yeah, this is pretty bad, and I'm going there. I'm going to the content cop zone. I'm going to be a little edgy, okay, guys? I'm going to be a little edgy. That's what he's warming up for. I'm going to say the things everyone's afraid to say. Yeah, his tattoos are so bad, dude. It was funny because in H3's reaction to this video, they started like talking about how bad his tattoos were. They started talking about how Sam Hyde was the one who fucked Ian up and fucked up his brain. And they also said that their podcast is like failing. They went in. It was awesome. But yeah, Ian's tattoos look like they're just off the wall. And yet again, I think that this is from Anissa. I think that this is Anissa's thing. I think she thinks she started getting tattoos first, right? And they're the same exact type of tattoos. I think she saw a guy with tattoos and she was like attracted to him. So she was like, "Oh, Ian, you look so hot with tattoos. Can you get some, please? I think you should get a tattoo. I think it would look really hot. I think it would look really good." And she just kept talking about it until he finally started getting tattoos. She gaslit him into getting tattoos.
What's up, everybody? I'm Hassan Piker, and this is the Hassan broadcast coming to you live from a cloudy day here in California, Los Angeles. We're live and alive, and I hope all the boys, girls, and MBs are having a fantastic one because today's a beautiful day. I have a very important announcement. I've finally done it. I watched Ethan Klein's content nuke, and I'm not going to call it context puke as I normally do because the reality of the matter is it was brilliant. Nothing was out of context. Everything was correct. I am an Islamist fundamentalist.
When I first watched this, it took me a minute to notice that it wasn't a real stream, which is kind of an epic little setup here. Like I'll give it to idubbbz that this intro is creative. Like all of the drama aside, the intro is pretty solid. Anissa's the one who scrambled Ian's brain. Yeah, 100%. But I think the way that he tried to make Sam Hyde look bad and it backfired on him, he was so sure that he, the awesome content cop guy, was going to destroy Sam Hyde and like get one over on his old fans by showing that like Sam Hyde is lame and bad and a failure. That backfiring fucked him up so bad psychologically. Like, yeah, it was Anissa that she's like the main problem. But yeah, Anissa be like, I need to wreck you, so when I'm done there's no coming back. Yeah, literally. Thought it was AI. I thought this was all a troll, dude. Yeah,
Radical terrorist. I am a vicious anti-Semite. It's true. Most importantly, Ethan is more attractive than me, both physically and also mentally. I've been lying about everything, including my glasses. They're fake. He was right about that. That's not even in the content nuke. And he was right about that too. How did he know everything? How?
Hassan is not funny. Like, he has to try really hard. I don't think he's ever made me laugh, like, from his intentional humor. You know what I mean?
Wake up, Ethan. Wake up, Ethan. Ethan, wake up.
So then when idubbbz walked in, I was like, oh shit, this is like a fake stream for the video. I thought that was pretty creative.
Ethan, wake up, Ethan, wake up. Time to be awake, Ethan. Wake up, Ethan.
And then Denims comes on screen and ruins it.
No longer a dream. This is a nightmare. Wake up.
Ethan, the dumb bitch is telling you to wake.
The dumb bitch. Yeah, you think I'm a dumb bitch, right? You are a dumb bitch. You are. Hey, I'm a dumb bitch, guys. I'm such a dumb bitch. Ethan thinks I'm a dumb bitch. Wow, you really showed him.
Wake up.
Wake up, Ethan. Wake
Ew.
up. Wake up.
The dumb bitch is telling you to wake up.
Wake up, Ethan. Wake up.
Why? Why? Does anyone else not buy this, by the way? Does anyone else doubt? Press X to doubt. Just saying.
Wake up, Ethan. Ethan, wake up. Wake up.
The Sean the Black guy, I was watching the H3 reaction to this. The Sean the Black didn't even have a problem with H3 at all. I'm pretty sure. The thing that he had a problem with was Destiny. So, like, I feel like what this sort of, like, illustrates to me is that idubbbz was mad at H3, and I think that he started talking to Hassan, looking for things to, like, criticize H3 for. Because you'll see in this video, like, a lot of the arguments just come across as things that Hassan has pointed out, but without any of the ability to explain why he doesn't like it, that, like, Hassan would have. Like, it's like idubbbz got these clips from Hassan, or these this group of people, and idubbbz is like missing all the context, like himself, like not even leaving the context out. Like he doesn't understand the context of what these clips are, and he's just throwing them together and telling a story about why H3 is bad.
Since anyone, just wake up.
Wake up.
Wake up.
Wake up. Wake up, Ethan.
Yuck.
I'm not gonna do a react content yet, chat.
I'm the same. Nobody's telling you to wake up, Ethan. Yummy.
His name's just Sean, you racist.
Abraham Musk.
Yeah, sorry. I got him mixed up with the other one. Why does idubbbz have to suckle on the mic? Like, dude, you're not the fucking content cop guy anymore. I don't know, dude. It just doesn't work. Like back when he didn't give a fuck about anything, that would have been like funny. But now it's like so weird, dude. All of these bits just like they don't work anymore because the illusion of who idubbbz is completely shattered. You now can see him very clearly, and it's not the guy who you see on the screen. It's like you can tell that he has these personality flaws, that he's extremely insecure, and he's like just completely washed up. And I don't know, it just totally shatters the illusion of him being this awesome critic that carries a lot of weight. Like his words carry a lot of weight.
All right.
You guys see that? He was naked. That was pretty funny. That was pretty funny, guys.
I didn't plan on
That's it's like he doesn't really have jokes anymore because he's like detached himself from the funny part of his brain. So now the only things that he can really joke about are like sex and nudity. That's like the classic like lefty things. Like once you stop joking about like taboo topics, you're now just left with nudity and sex jokes, and that's pretty much it.
taking a content cop on H3. It sounds very stupid even saying that. H3 content cop, idubbbz. Ethan Klein's out of control. And then you should do a content cop on Hassan Piker. Content cop on Sargon of Akkad. If I would imagine this in 2016, I would have been like, oh yeah, if I ever do that, it's gotta be because I lose the plot. Well,
Yeah. Wow. Insightful. He knows, dude. He knows deep down that he's lost the plot. I feel like that's like a very like I want a psychologist to analyze what he just said, because I feel like that's very telling. He knows that it's possible that he's lost the plot.
turns out it's not me losing the plot, it's Ethan.
I only learned about denims within the last year, and for 3 or 4 months, I thought she was playing a character. Yeah, she's just stupid. She's so unappealing and unlikable. Like, there's nothing unique or likable about her. She sits and watches stuff that Hassan watches and just gives you the most, like, milquetoast leftist commentary about it with, like, almost no passion in anything that she's doing. It's like, who watches this? Who watches this? You know? Like, at least the Sean the Black guy, he seems to be pretty passionate from what I've seen. He seems to have his own personality. She has no fucking personality at all. Yeah, Sargon of Akkad. Doesn't he not even go by Sargon of Akkad anymore? I saw one of his videos like a while ago. It was like Britannica or something. And somebody told me it was Sargon of Akkad. And I was like, I've heard of that guy before.
He's the one who fucking attacked first.
My good fucking friends who I stood by after all these fucking years can't find a spine to speak up.
So go fuck yourself.
I agree.
All right, guys.
So what happened here is that their former editor was supporting calling CPS on Hila and Ethan. And they were upset because idubbbz and Anissa followed this guy and were friends with him, and they wouldn't say anything, apologize to them on his behalf or anything like that. They wouldn't even make the slightest public statement about supporting Ethan and Hila, or saying like, you know, they're not bad parents, they're not abusing their kids, that's a bunch of bullshit. They can't even muster up the courage to say something like that. And it's because, like I said, this new crowd, the people that they want to hang out with, are all the lefty streamers. That's obvious. That's like clearly the route that they've chosen. So stupid. Oh, I'll say one more thing too. I don't even know why they're tying themselves to these streamers right now. Like, if you did that in like 2020, that would have been a good career move. But these lefty streamers are literally dying out. People are leaving them behind. Like, who is becoming a new viewer of Hassan Piker in 2025? I feel like, if anything, all of his fans were like 16 years old and they're all now adults, and they're like, yeah, maybe he's a little bit too reactionary and crazy. I don't know. I just feel like it's going out of fashion, being like an insane leftist Twitch streamer. So I feel like they're tying themselves to like a sinking ship. That's what it feels like. They're ditching a true friendship to tie themselves to a sinking ship of these like horrible people that it's not even going to help their career. This is going to hurt his career.
As I'm going to tell you a story about Ethan Klein. I know some of you have been following him.
Yeah, Britannica. It was like some video about like English culture. Like, he was walking around. Honestly, it was pretty cozy. Like, he was just walking around some British town and showing like some of the local culture stuff and talking about it. Pretty fascinating.
But there's a lot of people who might not be familiar with the background, with his podcast, with what's been going on over the past couple of years. So Ethan, as you know, is a content creator who has a podcast where he says all sorts of outrageous stuff. Sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's fucked up. He's had shows with all sorts of different controversial
What outrageous fucked up stuff does he even say anymore? Like, I feel like part of idubbbz is still stuck in 2017, 2018. Like, he's stuck. He hasn't evolved past that. You know what I mean? Like, he's still really, I don't know. Like, yeah, Ethan said crazy stuff in like 2018, but not really anymore. I mean, he's pretty safe. They have the button to stop the stream if he says something a little too wild. Like, I don't know. Maybe he means something else by that, but
characters. He's had a show with Trisha Paytas. He's had a show with Hassan Piker. In doing so, he's gathered a ton of different audiences. Now, in his podcast with Hassan, Leftovers, they would mostly talk about surface level progressive shit and make fun of right-wingers.
And you're telling me he didn't flick their dick once at least?
Oh, that's 100 shavers, you trans women. I say, oh no!
And it was mostly that until they actually had to reckon with a very serious topic.
Yeah,
I would say that Hassan
very serious topic, guys. Very serious topic. They had to reckon, you know, H3 really met his match when he was confronted on a real topic. Like, this whole video is so belittling to Ethan. It's insanely belittling. Yeah, the button section. Oh, I know. I've pre-watched this, but yeah, it's fucking, this video is just trash throughout the entire thing. I'd say the Sargon reference alone is really solid evidence that idubbbz is stuck in 2017. Yeah, it's bizarre. It's like he can't get past his old self, and he's like not able to live in the present or something. So weird.
Very well equipped to talk about that topic.
Palestinian people living in the West Bank are
Hassan is just so well equipped to talk about the topic, guys. Yeah.
Equipped to a very serious topic. I would say that Hassan was very well equipped to talk about that topic.
Palestinian people living in the West Bank are subject.
So he's showing, you know, Hassan has been talking about Israel-Palestine since 2019. The thing that he leaves out, he's framing this entire segment as Ethan has no idea what he's talking about when it comes to Israel-Palestine. He doesn't know anything about politics when it comes to Israel-Palestine. Hassan has been talking about it forever. Bro, Ethan lived in Israel. Ethan literally lived in Israel. He has firsthand experience with some of the issues in regards to this conflict. And Ethan isn't even, the craziest thing about all of this is that Ethan isn't even like a hard Zionist Israel supporter. Like, Ethan is like, yeah, I think that a lot of the stuff the Israeli government is doing is fucked up. This all stemmed from Ethan saying that, hey, it's bad that that there was a terrorist attack on Israeli civilians. That was bad. And that caused so much controversy that he is labeled as like a crazy Zionist guy. Throwing the crew under the bus. Yeah, I know, dude. So weird. This whole thing is so fucking weird. And I'll talk about it more once we get to that segment, but it's like Ian's acting like the crew can't speak for themselves or like that they have any agency over themselves. He's like implying that they're mistreated or something. And it's like, dude, they're not stupid idiots. Like they're there of their own free will. They can leave if they don't like it. If they hated Ethan or had problems with him, they would just quit.
To these horrific conditions, horrific living conditions.
Yeah, Tafka, I would say the whole video didn't need to be included.
State of Israel, America's greatest ally and the only democracy in the Middle East, if you ask Republicans and even liberals.
Well, the dance he invented was so kick-ass.
Guys, look how stupid Ethan is. Look how dumb Ethan is. He's just laughing at a funny video. He's just laughing at a funny video. This means that he's too dumb to understand Israel-Palestine. He's just too stupid.
Israeli settlers are trying to evict Palestinian families in occupied East Jerusalem. The United Nations says that may be a war crime. It literally is.
Was just eating the toppings, and the pizza looked like a burn victim. It was all disgusting.
By the way, Hassan talking about this conflict for like a long time doesn't give him any more credibility than anyone else. Like, you can know a lot about the conflict and have incorrect or like opinions that can be disagreed with still. Just because Hassan Piker, he makes the argument too that Hassan Piker is just a political streamer. That doesn't mean that his political opinions are right. Like, just because he does politics full time, like by that logic, you would say that Ben Shapiro's politics are right too, because Ben Shapiro does politics full time. Like, it's just, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if somebody does politics full time. Everybody can have different political opinions. Hassan knows more than someone who grew up in Israel and served in the army and a guy who lived there for 5 years. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I don't know if you can make that joke in 2021.
Why?
It's insensitive to burn victims.
I think that's a good analogy. It's a powerful image.
Ethan was not prepared for this.
It's crazy how much weight Ethan has lost, by the way. He just seems to be thriving, like physically and mentally and everything. He's funny again. He's lost the weight. He's much more like emotionally stable, it feels like. I know idubbbz would probably disagree with that, but I feel like Ethan has unironically gotten a lot more tolerable and mature.
Ethan, the whole time, is more of the goof guy, and that's fine. You know, we don't
He's
expect
more of the
Ethan
goof
to
guy.
be an expert on the topic.
Yeah, he's not an expert on the topic at all. He's just a stupid idiot that's lashing out for no reason.
Ethan was obviously caught in this.
This shit drives me crazy because this gang of people that idubbbz has associated with, literally their only tactic is to bully Ethan, to bully him and say, just admit you're wrong. Just admit you're wrong. Over and over again, just poking and prodding. They will not give him an inch on anything. They just want him to say, sorry guys, I'm totally wrong. You guys are right. I'm a Zionist. I'm blah, blah, blah. And I'm sorry for making a big fuss out of all of this. That's what they want. That's the only result that they will accept. So ridiculous.
Tricky situation where he is extremely sympathetic to the Israeli cause and what's happening to them. His wife's Israeli. She served in the IDF. He obviously likes...
She served in the IDF, which is mandatory. Mandatory service for everyone who is born in Israel.
The state of Israel. On the other hand, he's just got done capturing a...
By the way, him being sympathetic to the state of Israel, like, I am not an expert on the Israel-Palestine conflict. I'm not a very hyper-political guy, right? But the facts of this specific issue with Ethan and Hassan are so crystal clear. Ethan never supported the state of Israel. He supported the citizens that didn't do anything wrong. Like, it's so clear. It's so clear He's talked about it hundreds of times, made his opinion very clear. Anyone who watches him in good faith knows what he supports and what he doesn't. He's literally like pro-Palestine. Like, this shit has gotten blown way out of proportion. It's absurd.
Massive progressive audience who are very politically savvy.
Yeah, she just had a desk job too. Yeah.
They follow his
Even if she did see combat, like, it wouldn't matter. That wouldn't mean that she supports what the state does. It would mean that she's just serving her country and doing the mandatory thing that's required.
Hassan is strictly a political streamer, so this is something they're very keyed into. So when they see Ethan say,
yeah, Hassan is just strictly political, so that means that he's really smart. That means that he knows what he's talking about. He's a genius.
say things that are just like not accurate and it's just propaganda, they're gonna call it out.
From the river to the...
Like not accurate and it's just propaganda, they're gonna call it out.
From the river to the sea essentially means the state of Israel is going bye-bye.
So this
Is that wrong? Isn't that literally the geography of Israel? They're talking about the entire state from the river to the sea will be emancipated from Israeli control, which means that there will be no Israel. Am I wrong about that? I'm pretty sure that's what a lot of these people support, but they won't admit that straight up. They're like, oh no, it's just a little funny catchphrase about free Palestine, but it doesn't mean getting rid of Israel. But it's like, is that not what that means? Let's look up a map. Okay, where's the river? Ah, of course. So the Jordan River, right here, which borders, like, most of the border right here to the sea. From the river to the sea. I guess if somebody really wanted to argue, like, okay, we want to give Israel this triangle down here. We want to give Israel this little segment, but from the river to the sea, everything else is Palestine. That is like a very charitable interpretation of that, from what I understand. But yeah, leave a comment if I am wrong about that and I'm misunderstanding something, but that's what it looks like to me. Only way to get out is to immigrate, go to prison, or medical exemption. The worst thing I've heard that Hila did while with the IDF was do a ride-along during a night raid. Yeah. Yeah, and it's like, she's probably bored. Like, I don't know. Could you blame, like, anyone for wanting to see, like, a little bit of action? I don't know. I don't think I could.
Massive progressive audience that Ethan has, adopted over the years, they're becoming increasingly critical of his position because now he's talking about it not on Leftovers, he's now talking about it on his podcast.
What I want to do is show you guys how I see Israel, because you don't see that. When you listen to Hassan and you hear all these fucking
Israel blocks Gaza aid.
Like mega lefties talking about it like it's some super racist, like crazy, like Jim Crow style of society. Like, I can't wait to show you guys.
The other day, BB fired a really good guy that a lot of people are pissed about.
So Ethan is having this back.
So again, this is one of the things that Ian brings up. He brings up this clip of Hila talking about, oh, this guy was fired. And I know a little bit about that controversy. Like, it was a politician that, people were arguing was like not a good guy. And they were like, look, Hila supports this guy who's actually a bad guy. idubbbz doesn't seem to understand that. He doesn't even seem to know what is happening in this clip. He doesn't even talk about this at all. The clip had like text on it that he just like left in the video and he didn't go on to explain anything. So it's like, idubbbz, do you even know the context of what you're talking about? Or are you just being handed these clips by Hassan and friends? I really think that he worked directly with Hassan. Hassan handed him all these clips and he just threw them in here. Like, that's what it feels like. I think the leaders of other Middle Eastern countries still refuse to say Israel. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. The politics over there is just fucking insane. Like, God, I would not want to live anywhere in the Middle East. It just seems like just war and chaos everywhere. Nobody gets along. It's just hell. It's so bad.
Back and forth with his liberal audience.
The people of a lot of those countries seem really cool, but as a whole, like, you get what I'm saying. It's a war zone everywhere.
Leftist people online, progressive content creators, Hassan, all of these different people. He's finding new people every day, basically.
It's just so tiring to hear him talk about politics. Like, this is not your strength. You're talking about Hassan is a political expert because he streams all the time and he does it full time. What gives you any political expertise to decide if he's right or wrong? You know nothing, idubbbz. If anything, you talked about politics less than Ethan. So Ethan is more qualified than you to assess whether Hassan is right or wrong. You know what I mean?
To get in fights with.
Of all people, this guy, Matt Lieb.
Frogan and Denims and all these dipshits. And everybody thinks this guy's awesome, apparently. Even though he looks like Millhouse. Fucking dork.
Denims, by the way.
He does.
It was the real villain of the video. Evil, hateful, fucking... And I'll say it and I'll double down on it. And people... Oh, no? Did I not go there?
And it's all...
He censored the word bitch to make it seem like Ethan said something really bad. Dude, who gives a fuck? If somebody's being a stupid bitch, I feel like you should just call them a stupid bitch. You know what I mean? Like, what is the controversy here? Yeah, Denims is a stupid bitch. Is that really that hard to admit? What's up, Mongolian? The Israeli government is pretty awful too, but most of the people just want to live their lives on both sides. Yeah. No, exactly. It's like, that's what it seems like to me too. It's just like the citizens are just caught up in all the, like, the governments and the fucking terrorist groups and stuff. They're all just like, they just want to exist and chill. But yeah, I'm not fond of the state of Israel. Okay.
At least for my story, in Ethan burning bridges with people until he burned the bridge with me. Since Ethan and Hassan's falling out, I've been keeping to myself mostly. I don't have many nice things to say. Maybe if Ethan's able to get some help, maybe if
get some help, sweetie. Yeah, Ethan, just get some help, sweetie. You're not well. You're not feeling mentally well. Denims is the second female friend Ian has had after Anissa. Dude, that's true. Wait a minute. What if this is all just like an elaborate quest for pussy? Holy shit. Dude, that would actually be so awesome if idubbbz cheated on Anissa with Denims. That would be insane.
Stops harassing other creators.
She was denying the rapes. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, even if she wasn't doing anything, she is a dumb bitch. She just is. She's stupid.
Maybe if he does these things, eventually he'll find peace and we can like rekindle our friendship.
This whole dude. In idubbbz's apology, he talks about how he was being just he had no right to criticize anyone else. He was moral grandstanding. And yeah, he was no better than anyone else. Hello? Are you not moral grandstanding right now? You're saying that Ethan just needs to get some help, and then maybe I'll think about allowing him to be my friend again. Like, come on, dude. That would actually be really funny. I'm afraid that idubbbz would never leave her though. Like, I feel like she would cheat on him way before he would cheat on her. But I don't know. He seems extremely attached to her.
So that's been my approach. I've occasionally thrown a joke Ethan's way in the form of Hassan Piker versus Ethan Klein for boxing.
I like idubbbz. He's a good guy, but I don't like this sweet stupid. It's not a fucking petty beef. It's like, this guy is evil and he's doing anti-Semitism. And also he's way out of my weight class.
He didn't like that, but fucking...
Okay, so the one thing I will say against H3 is I don't think that most of the people involved are necessarily anti-Semites. I don't think they are. I do think like they do, some of them like Hassan and Frogan, they do like that they can be ambiguous about it. Like, I think they like the edgy part of it where it's like you don't really know whether they're being anti-Semitic or not. But I think when it comes down to it, they probably aren't. But yeah, I forget what Ethan's rationale is for that, but I would love to, if anyone has insight, if they disagree with that, leave it in the comments and I'll take a look. But just from what I've seen from these people, I don't think that most of them are like hate Jews.
Sometimes you gotta just throw something out there.
Yeah, me too, honestly, Tafka. Part of me thought that this content cop was gonna be like kind of good. Like, even if it was super politically motivated, even if it was against like Steven Crowder or something like that, I still thought that maybe like the content itself would be good. Even if I think that it's soy, like I still think he had that spark in him somewhere where he could make a legendary like content cop video. But nope.
I used to work with this video editor named Froggy Tonic. I discovered him because he was in the circles online that I was in. And one of those circles is...
Yeah, Frogan might actually hate them. She definitely is like the most likely out of all of them, for sure, because she seems to really enjoy the Sabra thing, like, too much. Like, she really likes that it's ambiguous. And she likes to lean into the fact that, oh, am I being anti-Semitic or am I not? She really does. I really think she does lean into it. But I'm going to give all these people the benefit of the doubt for now about the anti-Semitism thing. But yeah, mostly boils down to using Zionist as a placeholder for Jew. Yeah, I remember him talking about that.
An H3 fan. He watched Ethan's content, he liked Ethan's content, until he didn't like Ethan's content. There would be an occasional Froggy tweet where I'd be like, I agree with that, you know? Like, I'm not gonna endorse it, I'm not gonna retweet it or like it, but fair enough.
I guess I just missed my old friend. Some wings are too bird feathered, colored.
Now that brings us to February 28th.
Her tweet, yeah, the October 7th tweets that she had were pretty crazy. That was fucking insane.
Of this year. Now, my former editor of a year and a half ago...
But I would still say that that's just about, like, her hating Israel and supporting the terrorists more so than it being about her hating Jews. But, you know, I'm open to being proved wrong about that, but...
did say some truly mean shit. He called Hila the C word. He said they're trying to...
the C word. He called Hila a cracker, guys. He called Hila a cracker. Is cunt really that bad of a word? Is that really a word that we have to refer to it by the first letter now? The C word. Don't say the C word. idubbbz used to say cunt all the time. Do you guys remember that? You cunt. Do you guys remember the fucking what video was it where anything for views got a big tattoo on his belly that said fat cunt? It was like a fake tattoo. That was like their favorite word back in the day.
Kill their dog with cheddar cheese and a bunch of other shit, I'm sure. Ethan, at some point...
Yeah, I mean, I see that. I for sure see that, Tafka. Like, but I think that it's still ambiguous, and that's why they can get away with it, I guess. Is if they are using it like that, then yeah, for sure, but there's no way to prove that. Yeah.
Discovers that idubbbz's former editor says this horrendous shit about him and Hila. But no one's asking the question, where does Ethan get this information from? You see, it would be very obviously a problem if Ethan was discovering this content by scrolling through Twitter looking for something to upset himself with. He has maybe set it up in such a way where his employees feel the need to send him this information. And that would be horrible. They shouldn't be doing that. They should be sending you things that are entertaining for your show that don't fucking trigger the hell out of you. Why is there so much work being put?
There is nothing wrong. Okay. I don't think that there's anything wrong with him being sent info about people talking shit about him and doing horrible things to him. And I feel like if anything, his subreddit posting this stuff gives him like the means to make people publicly aware of what's going on. It's not like they're just sending this to him to make him freak out and triggered. Like they're just like, hey, this guy said something crazy. You know what I mean? I don't know. There could be people who are sending it to him because they like to see him get all worked up and they like the drama. But no, I don't think that like people are just sending him stuff specifically to piss him off. But who knows?
Put into discovering this guy on Twitter.
And also, it's like implying that if people didn't, that's the bigger problem here. Is idubbbz is implying that if nobody showed him anything, then he would have nothing to be upset about. He wouldn't be as upset because, oh, these people are just sending him rage bait and he's being unreasonably angry. No, that's not what's happening at all. That's not what's happening at all. He's getting so much shit every single day. Most of it is undeserved. And he's just talking about it. And that would piss anyone off. That would piss any of you guys off. If you were being mischaracterized and shit on publicly like this, constantly. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not even like people criticizing you for things that you actually believe. It's people criticizing you for things that you never said, that you didn't do, making up stories about you, and like painting you as this evil person. So yeah, that would piss anyone off.
Barely getting any interactions, linking him to me and posting on the Reddit when there's no work being put into who the fuck is the person on the Reddit who's posting this in the first place. If you do a little bit of research, it seems like it's an account whose intention is to make Ethan crash out. One of the users on the Snark Reddit.
Icarus Drowned is a lifelong Destiny fan who deleted his post history and started solely posting on H3H3 Productions to manipulate that community. He posts nonstop to Dalaban Twitter, usually harassing whatever their newest target is. In this case, it was Ludwig and Cutie Cinderella. This is who is manipulating H3H3's community. The head mod of Destiny's harassment group. Guys, Destiny mentioned. Destiny has been mentioned. Huh. That's really interesting. I wonder where idubbbz got this idea to talk about Destiny. Where did he get this elite intel from? Who could it have possibly been that knows all this lore about Destiny's moderators and old subreddit members? Weird.
It points this out. They're like, I've seen this account before. This account has scraped its history and it's now trying to make Ethan burn bridges. This is within Ethan's
Trying to make him burn bridges, dude? Is that not just like standing up for yourself? Not taking, you know, being mistreated and being told things about yourself that aren't true, like saying, hey, that's not what I said, so fuck you for smearing me. That's not burning bridges. That is not burning bridges. That's called standing up for yourself, which he fully has the right to do.
Community, like, this is the thing.
Ian got the wrong Icarus. Classic. Yeah, it feels like the old content cops, they were like researched at least like fairly well. He would have so many archives of like old clips and stuff. Like I remember the Tana one, he found all her old like Ustream live stream VODs and like scrubbed through them to find all the clips. This shit, he doesn't even know the context of what he's talking about. He's just being handed like all the things to attack H3 for, and he doesn't even understand what he's doing.
That he needs to be critical of. It's not me. So yes, I am willing to admit that my former editor was being very nasty, uncharitable, and fucked up towards Ethan and Hila on Twitter. But Ethan and Hila are doing the same shit on their podcast. So I don't want to fucking hear it.
Terrorist supporter.
The CEO of Twitch.
Pedophile.
Now I'm going to watch and respond to the two podcast streams where Ethan and Hila call us spineless cowards.
Anyway, this guy was saying shit like,
they are spineless cowards. What? How are they not spineless cowards?
that Hila's a Nazi, that she kills kids, that she went on like, she's a...
Like, even if the argument is, oh, well, we didn't want to address this drama because we want to be neutral. We don't want to piss anyone off. They could have said that publicly, but they were too spineless to even say that. They didn't want to make any statement on it whatsoever. They just wanted to ignore it and pretend like it wasn't happening. They didn't want to say, Yeah, guys, we're not going to address the blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? I usually laugh off people talking shit, but I've been surrounded by people with serious personality disorders my whole life. I learned nothing bothers them more than me not being bothered. Yeah, but at the same time, you know, I totally understand why Ethan is pissed off. Like, idubbbz is framing it like he's just having this crash out and he's just being insane. And it's like, not really. He's just responding to what people are accusing him of, which is like ridiculous. But yeah, you could just sit there and be like, you could pretty much just be like, yeah, it's crazy, right, guys? It's crazy that I did all that stuff. Or like, you could just ignore it, but it wouldn't make the problem go away. So it's like, you're just kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. Icarus Drown is not the same guy as Icarus Bath. Okay. Wow. Straight up misinfo in the content cop, apparently. That's crazy.
Like a IDF baby killer, all this types of shit. And that's showing up right up on us Nisa's and idubbbz feed. My good fucking friends who I stood by after all these fucking years can't find a spine to speak up. You know why? Because they'll get murdered.
You don't know what's on my feed. What the fuck is happening? For all you know, I only use the For You tab. For all you know, I only use lists. For all you know, I'm seeing these things tweeted out by my editor of a year and a half ago and saying, God, that is nasty. I'm just not gonna throw someone away because they're having a parasocial weird moment. Just like I'm not gonna throw Ethan Klein away because he's having a parasocial weird crash out.
Parasocial. Parasocial. You're parasocial. You're actually being parasocial. Come on, dude. I feel like people realize that the parasocial thing was like a fucking was being used as a buzzword like 2 years ago. And we're really just really pulling out the parasocial psychology term in order to make him look crazy and stupid. Like, he has no reason to be upset. It's not even that they just want to stay out of it. They didn't want to be friends with Ethan and Hila anymore, but they were too cowardly to come out and say it. 100%, yeah. Yeah, they couldn't even say, yeah, exactly. They couldn't say, we don't want to comment on this. They couldn't say, we support you, Ethan and Hila. They couldn't even say, we don't support Ethan and Hila. They couldn't say anything.
How many women I fucked? Hassan, by the way, thousands. Yeah, thousands. Let me ask Galia. These shoes do not go. I'm sorry.
Dude, I love this. I love seeing people point out, like, minute, stupid details. I like seeing this type of criticism. This is what I want more of. I want people who are in dramas to go at each other for every little thing. This is awesome. And Ethan is right.
Oh my God. Hassan's the type of dude who watches himself in the mirror when he has sex.
Watching me
That's
on a
true.
30-second delay.
That's true. That's literally true.
Play on your stream.
Wait, how does he know I'm watching already?
Because you've been talking about it for the...
Yeah, literally. Ethan has met, like, almost all of these people. He's definitely met Ian and Anissa. He's been real life friends with them for 10 years. He's met Hassan. Yeah. All these people are people that he knows in real life. I guess you could... Maybe he hasn't met Frogan. I'm not sure. But, yeah, the amount of therapy speak throughout the content cop was extremely annoying. Dude, him and Anissa are so therapy, like, poisoned. Therapy poisoned. That is a good new term that I'm going to copyright. Therapy poisoned. That is what it is. Everything that they look at others is through the lens of therapy terms and themselves being perfect and having worked on themselves through therapy and being morally superior. And the person that they're looking at that they disagree with, oh, they need therapy. They're not on my level. They haven't done therapy.
The last 5 minutes.
It's not a fucking...
They're parasocial. They're obviously being parasocial. Like,
petty beef. It's like, this guy is evil and he's doing anti-Semitism. These shoes do not go. I'm sorry.
There are many people, I'm sure, who have unfollowed you for the things that you've said and done, and I'm sure there are...
Who cares? There's people who have unfollowed you too, Ian, for being gay. Who cares? If you don't, like, that doesn't prove anything. People might dislike you for a bunch of different reasons. That doesn't prove that you're a bad person or anything, or that you're wrong. It's just that, you know, somebody might disagree with you and unfollow you for that.
Even more people who have stayed following you because they don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. They don't want to throw someone away because they've had some hard moments. We're all fucking human.
My good fucking friend.
Dude, I don't think that most subscribers on YouTube are thinking about things that deeply. Like, I'm not thinking like, idubbbz is really lame and annoying now, but you know, I'm just not gonna unsubscribe because I have hope that he's gonna be normal and cool one day. He's not making the content that I like, so I unsubscribe. It's very simple. Or this person is starting to annoy me, I unsubscribe from them. It's not some like, it's not like deciding to cut a friend out of your life or something. It's not like that at all.
Friends who I stood by after all these fucking years can't find a spine to speak up. You know why? Because they'll get murdered.
And what you're saying to me is that I'm a bad friend.
Does he have a gold tooth?
I'm a piece of shit. I'm spineless. I'm cowardly. Because
he has a gold tooth. What the fuck?
I am following someone on Twitter.
Is the gold tooth a bit? Or is it like, is it another thing that Anissa made him get? She saw a guy, oh my god, she read like a porn book for women, and it had the main character was a guy with a gold tooth. She's like, Ian, I just think it would be so hot if you got a gold tooth. I just really want you to get a gold tooth.
Because they have mobilized such an insane...
All the root is because Ethan very quietly unfollowed Frogan. Literally. Ethan didn't even like... Ethan didn't make a big deal out of like most of these things. Like he did have a like fights with Hassan on the Leftovers live stream. But aside from that, most of the issues that he was having were like started by other people. You know what I mean?
Harassment group. It's not bad enough that I have this group of people harassing me and everyone in my life. It's that people outside of this group, journalists.
Like, here's an example. I think that all of that stuff, if there weren't other people involved, his disagreement and fallout with Hassan would have just quietly fizzled out. Like, yeah, they still might not be friends, but I don't think that he would still be talking about it if other people weren't shitting on him constantly, like calling him all these things that he's not. You know what I mean?
Creators are actively participating in this gaslighting to make it seem like I'm fucking crazy.
I mean, I don't know what he's getting at here. Like, yeah, people are gaslighting you. A lot of people gaslit me when I apologized. That was actually like the #1 type of harassment I got.
You know who gaslights you, idubbbz? Your fucking wife. Your wife gaslights you constantly. And your wife gaslit you to turn you into this person who's horrible, completely unlikable, and annoying.
Was people gaslighting me and taking my newfound woke ideology to its extreme.
I've probably done and stood by idubbbz and Anissa more than anybody. I've stood by them.
What is this edit, dude? Oh, you're such an angel for supporting me, Ethan. Yeah, dude. He was supportive of you as a friend. You think that he would have gone like that far out of his way to back you and Anissa to support your Creator Clash event if he wasn't close friends with you? He was doing all that stuff because he was friends with you. He wasn't doing it as a career move. If he was doing it as a career move, he could have just not said anything about it.
When all the internet hated them.
I don't like that Ethan brought this up because it makes the relationship feel very transactional. Like, you know, we're just meant to support each other online despite our own personal morals or principles.
No. No, that's not what... Oh my god, dude. He just... I feel like he just wants acknowledgement from you in some way or another. Like we've said it earlier in this stream. He wants either you to say, oh, I can't really support you publicly, sorry, or I do support you, or I don't feel comfortable speaking about this. He wants you to make one of those statements, right? Like, he's not just expecting you He's not expecting you to back him in every single thing without any discretion. Like, obviously, you're going to have your own opinions on stuff. And if you don't support something that your friend is doing, you don't have to. But he just wants some sort of, like, acknowledgement, which it doesn't even seem unreasonable.
But I'll say this. I don't think they're fucking any friends of mine. And certainly, I don't think they're any fucking friends of mine based on the text conversation I had with them, too, before I even talked about it. So I have nothing... Like, I don't need any fucking halfway friends, man.
I thought the text conversation that I had with him was very empathetic. I basically just said, like, I know you and Hila are experiencing a ton of harassment, and I essentially empathize with that, and I think there's something positive to get out of the conversation. But he refused to talk on the phone unless I was willing to publicly say something about my former editor and denims. As much as you don't want halfway friends, I also don't want that kind of halfway friend. I don't want someone who's going to give me like an ultimatum to have a conversation.
Could you not say something when this is like, imagine like one of you guys is like, Hassan actually wants to go to Israel, go to Gaza so he can strangle Israeli babies or some shit like that. I'd be like, you imagine me not saying something.
You're trying to make a one-to-one comparison where there isn't one. This guy that I follow on Twitter is not in the same relationship as you and one of your current employees who is streaming with you 3 days a week, 3 hours a day for the past 10 years. At one point during this stream, Ethan and Hila bring up Adam McIntyre. Now, Adam does basically the same thing as my former editor. He's critical of Ethan and Hila, and he is sometimes uncharitable and nasty towards them.
Adam McIntyre needs to just like disappear. That guy is a piece of shit, like of the lowest order. I'm
not even familiar what the thing with Adam McIntyre and H3 is. But of course, I don't think idubbbz is putting any context clues in this video for us to figure that out. He's just kind of throwing all the clips in here to try to make them look bad. So
I even stood by him when he talked bad about Trisha having a kid and called him like the spawn of Satan. He was supposedly on our side. I would never even co-sign that. I was disgusted by that statement too. I remember when he called her kid the spawn of Satan.
I never said anything.
And I was supposed to be like cheering on, but I wasn't going to cheer that on. That's disgusting.
Why do you forget that he called her children, which is something we would never do, the spawn of Satan?
It's disgusting.
And
a piece of shit of a human.
It's just incredible who ends up being the good guys in this story. You know, it's really something.
Unfortunately, they never made it.
I feel like that was all just like reasonable stuff for them to say. Like they were friends or they were friendly with this Adam McIntyre person. Even when they were friendly with him, he said things that they didn't support and they thought it was weird. What's wrong? Like, what's wrong with that?
A statement. They never said that they disagree with his statements about Trisha's baby until it's useful. Like, what is it, 3 years later? Like, I mean, you're talking about it like you were aware of it at the time and that there was some amount of pressure or enthusiasm for you to get down with that. And what it sounds like to me is that you did see it at the time and you were like, ooh, I don't like that. And you didn't endorse it and you didn't fuck with it. Huh. It's almost...
Oh, okay. I understand what he's saying here. So he's just making a comparison between they didn't like this tweet. They talked about how they didn't like it on their podcast later on, but at the time they didn't say anything about it. And he's saying that that's the same as like the Froggy Tonic thing.
Almost like that is a fucking identical situation to me.
It's just incredible who ends up being the good guys in this story. You know, it's really something.
So yeah, the reason I'm bringing this up is because they're trying to like paint themselves as the good guys, and they're saying like, yeah, we strongly disavow things that are said, even about our enemies. We are the most immoral people.
The thing is, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that one of the arguments you could make here is that their relationship, H3's relationship with Adam McIntyre, is completely different than idubbbz's relationship with the editor guy, right? Especially because it's concerning, like, their close friend. idubbbz is like best friends, best YouTube friends. I feel like that's a fair categorization to make. He's like best YouTube friends with H3. They were like the closest creators that stayed friends for the longest amount of time, from like 2017 to today.
On the internet. Unlike Ian and Anissa, who are fucking keeping to themselves. Also, why the fuck does Olivia get the pass?
A counter for how many times he mentions the false CPS call.
What a fucking asshole.
Does he not mention that at all here?
Putting you in that position, Olivia. You're friends with him. And you don't have to say anything, but like, what a fucking piece of shit. What a bad friend to put you in that position just for some fucking clout. It gets people angry at you, like, oh, how can she be friends with him? Which is total bullshit, okay? Olivia did not do anything. And
he's not, bro, he's not explaining any of the context for the Adam McIntyre thing. Like, I have no idea what he's talking about. If he wasn't explaining, if I didn't already know, like, a lot of the drama between, like, H3 and Hassan Piker, I wouldn't know anything that he's talking about. So this video, like, sucks. This video literally sucks.
I want the pass. Do I have to be an employee to get that treatment? Because then you'll just see me as an ally? Or is it because Ethan is afraid of wrongful termination accusations and lawsuits?
And also, I don't mind putting my friend Olivia, who's apparently my real friend, in a terribly weird, fucking uncomfortable situation where you end up getting hate for no reason.
Also, don't frame it as like other people making it hard on Olivia. You're making it hard on all of these people. Please acknowledge your role in this whole fucking thing. Like, it's crazy how warm Ethan is to Olivia and saying how Olivia is essentially just a victim in this whole thing.
It gets people angry at you, like, oh, how can she be friends with him? Which is total bullshit.
The segment literally sucks. The segment literally, there's no... Is he still talking about Adam McIntyre? I have no idea what the fuck he's talking about.
But me and Anissa are spineless. Ethan, your whole system is scrambled. My intention isn't to throw the employees under the bus. Like, you guys serve as the fucking foundation for calling out Ethan's hypocrisy on the whole subject. And
Is this the employee segment? I think there's another employee segment later, too.
I know that you guys have probably pushed back against Ethan over the years. How often are you supposed to do that? Do you have to do that every fucking week? It kind of seems like it. And that's exhausting. I don't want to confront my boss. It's not my fucking job to confront my boss and say, today's segment on rapists and pedophiles on Twitch was not like my favorite segment to be a part of.
Yeah, friends like these.
The segment on rapists and... See, I've rewatched this segment like 3 times. I have no idea what he's talking about here. Have I just missed like all of the context that he was talking about? Or did he just not explain what he's even talking about? This whole video feels so badly thrown together. It's like, I don't know, there's not even really like a structure to it at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And our other good friends.
Yeah.
Anissa and Ian. Thanks, Anissa, for standing up for your girl. I actually stood up for you so many times, because, like, why would I not? It was crazy.
Yeah, why would you not? I mean, if that's truly what you believed and you weren't just going to use it later.
Of course I was going to stand by you. That's insane. It's absolutely insane and disgusting. But now you choose to hang out with people that would have a problem with you if you defended me.
I'm not going to assume that Hila knows, but I'll say it for anyone who doesn't know. Anissa is half Lebanese and half Irish.
Okay.
For anyone unfamiliar, the Irish have been on the receiving end.
By the way, I heard something about how she was only 8% Lebanese. So, which one of those numbers are correct?
Of a lot of oppression and genocide. On the part of the Lebanese, they've received a lot of oppression and attacks from the IDF. So Anissa is very well familiar with the propaganda and the shit coming out of Israel. Choosing now, out of all the times, to be like, please defend me. No, we're not gonna fucking defend you.
Rudy was saying that Palestinians are taught at 2 years old to kill Americans.
Do we have that
I
one?
mean,
Like,
just the other day, BB fired a really good guy that a lot of people are pissed about.
He looked mean. I thought he was mean just because he looked mean.
No, it's not.
So yes.
Again, just not explaining this at all. Like, the only reason I even know what they're talking about is because I have seen that clip before and I saw like comments about the clip explaining what the drama was.
You caught us. We're not gonna run to your defense when, I don't know, we follow people. We be following. That's one fucked up thing that you can say about Anissa and I is when we're on Twitter, we do be following.
So
I feel like though the thing with this is like, yeah, you are just following them, but you're also aligning yourself with all of the people who hate H3. Like, they hate H3. You're aligning yourself with Hassan, Denims, Frogan. You're being weird and not really saying that you're aligning yourself with those people. But then you look at their behavior and it's like, yeah, they are. Like, Anissa was going into Frogan's chat. First, idubbbz and Anissa said, oh, we're not going to talk about this H3 thing. It's like too divisive. And then like 2 weeks later, Anissa's in Frogan's chat saying, yeah, I feel really bad for Ethan. Like, he's just going crazy and crashing out. Like, he's just being so insane. So which one is it? Are you going to talk about it? Are you not? Like, it's obvious who they're aligning themselves with. Just because they're not saying it explicitly doesn't mean that it's not obvious.
Okay, if you want to hang out with those people and have no spine and not stand up for another girl that stood up for you, enjoy your new friends.
She's friends with people like Denims.
I know.
In her chat,
yeah.
Which I'll show.
Denims
is actually participating in this whole child protective service lie.
Yeah.
Which I'll
and if
show
you're
you guys
friends with them, then you're saying what they're saying.
You'll notice that Ethan and Hila start talking about this Denims character. Originally, the complaint was about my former editor. He's been chatting shit about Ethan and Hila for the past year at least. They only care about it now because I guess it was spoon-fed to them via their Reddit that's clearly looking out for them. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, we are friends with Denims, but I would say it's the same level of friendship that we had with Ethan and Hila. It's like kind of an internet friendship. We think that she's a good person like we think Ethan and Hila are good people.
Just a little internet friendship. It's about the same level of friendship as I had with Ethan and Hila. So one of two things. It's either he's downplaying significantly how close of friends he was with H3, or him and Anissa are just like super, super forward in becoming friends with Denims. They really want to be friends with Denims, so they got really close with her really fast. Hey, Denims, we saw you from across the bar.
People, kind of a tricky situation. How can you possibly think that they're both good people at their core? People can have crash out moments. People can say things that they don't mean. People can say things because they want internet clout and attention. I don't know, I think they're both probably guilty of saying things that they don't mean for internet clout and attention. Right now, one's a little bit more fucking nasty to me than the other.
I just don't see how you can be my friend and also be friends with someone like that.
Well, you can't. So I already forgot about you.
I actually have a lot of friendships that are kind of that way, where it's like, you know, one of the friends doesn't fuck with the other friend, but there is someone in the middle who kind of fucks with both of them, but separately. Yeah, there's a lot of friendships that are like that. I'm not gonna make you guys like meet up and kiss or anything. I get it. You guys are in fucking, you're either my best friend who's deep-throating me to the base of my cock, or you are Satan. You're the devil.
The last thing I said to Anissa, we were texting before I ever talked about it.
I kind of get that. Like, you don't have to like, I don't know. You don't have to like everyone that your friend is friends with necessarily. But I mean, it's like if I had a friend that was doing the things that Denims and Hassan and whatever are doing to H3, like, for example, supporting the CPS calls, smearing him as like a crazy Zionist guy, all of that stuff, I would personally feel weird because I'm friends. It's my friend that they're attacking. So it's like, why the fuck are you lying about them and attacking them? So the conclusion from that is that idubbbz doesn't think that the other friend is lying. He thinks that that stuff is real. So he obviously, if he's assuming that's real, he's questioning Ethan's character. So Ethan's like, okay, I don't want to be friends with you if you think all these things are true about me, that I'm like this horrible, fucked up person. I feel like that's fair.
He's like, I don't care about this guy. He's a nobody. And, you know.
You should watch H3's response stream. Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking about watching his response, but it would be like hours and hours and hours, even longer than this stream already is. But yeah, I'm honestly getting bored as fuck of this content cop. I'm so bored.
blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, then you'll have no problem publicly denouncing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, the conversation ended.
She never replied.
Ethan, you can't even.
So he did. Okay. Ethan did want a public denouncement. He didn't necessarily just want a private, conversation.
Phrase it.
So that is something that I will correct here. He did want a private or a public statement about these people.
Way that doesn't make you sound like you're being coercive in shit.
Even so, though, like, he could just tell Ethan, sorry, I don't feel comfortable making a public statement. He just left Ethan in this weird limbo. You know what I mean?
Well, then.
Where it's like, is this guy supportive of these things that are being said about me? That would torture you mentally. Like, that would actually torture anyone.
No problem publicly denouncing it, right? Does that sound like a friend? It kind of sounds like something a powerful villain would say.
But it was so funny how she immediately went to comment everywhere, like on our subreddit. She immediately had to comment like, "Oh, he doesn't work with us anymore." But that was it. That's all she said.
But then say that you don't.
Okay. Do you have anything else to say for your friends, though?
One of the reasons Anissa was so quick to clarify things in your Reddit is because your Reddit was already talking about who this editor is, and they were spreading misinformation that it was our co-host on our podcast, Uncle Dane. So yeah, the last thing we wanted is this guy getting pulled into this mess, and you guys don't give a fuck. Would it have been nicer and more supportive to say...
How is that on, I'm confused what he's saying here. How is that on Ethan that Ethan's fans mistook him for Dane?
Agree with the things he's saying, and we support...
Oh, he's just saying this is why Anissa responded. Okay, this is why Anissa made this response.
Would it have been nicer and more supportive to say, we don't agree with the things he's saying and we support Ethan and Hila? Sure. Like, yeah, that would have been a nicer thing to say. Our silence means something.
Our silence means something. Yeah, what? It means that you support. How do you interpret that any other way?
Means that we would like to pause this relationship until you figure your shit out.
We would like to pause this relationship until you figure your shit out. Meaning, you are in the wrong, Ethan. You are in the wrong. These people who are calling CPS on you and all this stuff, they're actually right. They're actually right. So that means that you need to get some help. Go to therapy.
And then maybe we can find a moment in time. I don't know how.
No, yeah, like, it's not, I feel like it's not that much to ask. Ian's acting like Ethan is like guilt tripping him into doing something that he's uncomfortable with. But it's like, I feel like you'd have to be a psychopath to not just say something simple, make a response, a little simple response. Hey guys, I don't even necessarily agree with the stuff that Ethan's saying, but the CPS thing is too far, okay? So please lay off of him. He's been a great friend to me throughout the years. Why is that so hard to say? I feel like that has to come from you supporting their actions in some way.
How long it'll be, but a moment in time in the future where things are a little bit easier to broach. I don't think we need to do it right now. But you've insisted that this is an important thing to address. I would have been perfectly fine with you not blasting me on your Instagram story. I would have been perfectly fine with you not blasting me and my wife on your podcast twice. I would be fine with you not brigading my comment section on my podcast that gets 3,000 views a week because I prefer to not do harassment campaigns and instead talk about Vampire's Kiss.
At least say something like he doesn't.
Did he send his fans to go comment stuff on your podcast? Like that would make sense if he said go leave a comment on Ian's podcast, like to make him respond to me. No, just his fans are addressing you. He has no control over that.
Doesn't work for me, and I strongly disagree, and I support Ethan and Hila. The problem is
that she doesn't.
That's the problem.
That's the problem.
She actually.
Yeah. She thinks they have a point.
That's the problem.
Yeah. So go fuck yourself.
I agree.
They do. Yeah. They do. They do think that all of these people who are saying all these things about H3 are right. That's like the thing. They're too cowardly to even admit that. They won't even say like, yeah, we agree that Ethan and Hila are being insane right now and blah, 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 blah. We agree that they're Zionists. They won't admit that, but that's obviously what they believe.
Go fuck yourself. What about your girl? This is what I'm talking about. This aggression that you're putting out into the world. What the fuck do you think we're gonna do? You think I'm gonna fucking sit on my hands when you do this shit? Like, this is nasty. We had such a fair response to what you guys were going through. We don't support harassment. It's a bad thing, but it happens and you're perpetuating it.
You fucking propagandist, lying scumbag, terrorist supporter. He probably sets up a mirror and jerks off watching himself. Dan KKK Clancy has a similar view of Hitler. Because Dan Clancy, the Nazi, fucking anti-Semite.
You can't expect other people to stop harassing you if you continue to harass people. Let's think about it.
But they did it first. What? I feel like it's totally valid if these people initiate this whole thing to make fun of them and shit on them. There's nothing wrong with that.
It on a micro level. Have you ever been in a comment section and found someone to argue with? It doesn't stop. It can literally go on forever if you don't want to touch grass.
I mean, yeah, this was kind of like a line, what happened today, that should never be crossed, even by like the most cynical, toxic people. It's going to have ramifications in terms of how I conduct myself. In terms of these fair weather friends who are, you know, so happy to be friends as long as they're getting something out of it.
Ethan, that is a...
I think idubbbz just enjoyed the crash out downward spiral. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, he's doing the same thing that he said he did in the past, which is morally grandstanding. If anything, he's doing that way more now than he was doing back in 2017. Like, by far.
A rich thing to say. Like, you're the H3 podcast, okay? There's a lot of friends of the show. There's even more fair weather friends of the show. Let's not get into this shit, okay? That is so bizarre and insulting to suggest that I was only ever being friends with you to get something out of it. No, I'm friendly with you, and I'd say I'm a light friend because it's been pleasant hanging out with you.
Well, it seems like Ethan and Hila see your friendship in a very different light. You're not just... Seems like you guys weren't just internet friends. You guys have been friends that have hung out in real life for the past, like, 10 years. Why is he... Why does it feel like he's downplaying that?
With you. I've enjoyed your content over the years.
I mean, none of us really know, I guess, right? Like, maybe they weren't close friends at all. But, no, I feel like they were closer friends than Ian is giving them credit for.
And as of late, it's gotten really fucking shitty.
Yeah, so go fuck yourself.
It's, you know what it is? It's like that classic thing where, it becomes uncool to like hang out with someone and you're friends with them and you just kind of like downplay it. You're like, oh, I was never really that close of friends with him. Yeah, we just kind of like talked sometimes in math class. Yeah, he's weird, right? Like, that's literally what this is. That's what this feels like to me.
Who else? Who else do we want to burn today?
Who else do we want to burn today? You're making it so fucking obvious that this is your emotional dumping ground. It's horrible. This is not what podcasts are. There was a way to approach this to say like, yeah, we feel hurt by you guys not saying something. You've decided to do the extra thing and attack. Now, in fairness, I am attacking back, but I feel...
Didn't they start by saying, yeah, we're pretty hurt that you guys haven't said anything? Isn't that how this began?
I feel very insulted and I feel defensive and I feel like I am
feel so defensive and insulted
for a lot of people who have problems with you, and a lot like I am speaking up for a lot of people who have problems with you.
I'm speaking up for all the people who have problems with you, Ethan. I'm speaking up for everyone who's afraid to say something. Wow. If that is not moral grandstanding, I don't know what is, dude. He's literally saying he's like the hero of people who are too afraid to talk shit about H3. They're so afraid. They won't say anything bad. Because the whole internet is just a pro H3 circle jerk, right? It's like totally just all H3 people. Crazy. Ian was absolutely downplaying the friendship. Yeah. Ethan has said that Ian and Anissa spent more time at their house than anyone. Yeah, totally. That's the impression that this gives me. Like, Ian just seems like he's either in denial about how close of friends he was with them because it's like advantageous for him, or he's like intentionally downplaying it to, I don't know, to fit in with like the Hassan crowd and everything.
And a lot of people who have been
Kind of true when he's threatening to sue people for criticism. Who is he threatening to sue for criticism?
on the receiving end of your harassment.
It's so easy to be anti-racist. Everybody's anti-racist. Racism is the worst thing in the world, right? We fucking hate racists. Fuck.
Isn't he threatening to sue Noah Samson over like defamatory statements, like saying things that are untrue?
Racist.
Microaggressions.
The minute that they actually have to stick their neck out for somebody, the minute they have to actually risk something to put themselves in under scrutiny.
Yeah, literally sake. Yeah, Noah Samson. So to be fair, I don't know what the context of the Noah Samson thing is, but if he's suing him for defamation, then he's trying to make a case for why the statements are untrue. So if Noah Samson accused him of something that he didn't do, knowingly, like if he said, I don't know, I can't think of an example. If he said something intentionally that was untrue, then yeah, that he has a case for defamation. If it's a defamatory statement, that's not suing for criticism.
To sacrifice something personally.
Well, let's find out. Let's find out real quick.
To stand up for racism, then all of a sudden it's like, hey, I don't want to get involved.
And that's drama.
How much do you care?
I don't do drama.
How much
Sorry.
do you actually care? If you're, isn't that the whole point? Like,
I realize that Ethan and Hila are more scared now than they've probably ever been. I feel like anti-Semitism is a thought in their heads now more than ever. And it's...
Is it this video? These are political disagreements. If he got something wrong, it's not defamatory. Well, yeah, so if he got something wrong, yeah. But if he's intentionally spreading like lies, then that's different. If he accidentally got something wrong, it's different. But I'm trying to figure out what he even said, because it could be right that he didn't say anything defamatory. That's the whole point of bringing it to court, is deciding whether or not it's defamation. Yeah, Ethan is threatening to sue Samson, but I know none of the details. Seems pretty lame to me. Yeah. Noah was the guy who called Chud Logic a pedophile for dating an 18-year-old. Yeah, that's true. Is it this?
Ethan Klein coming at you March 26th.
3 weeks ago.
2025. I do remember he wasn't actually live on October 7th. But that flight is too long. It doesn't logistically make sense.
Shut the fuck up and stop.
I mean, I'm defending him. He couldn't do it. The time doesn't add up. Of
course not.
So Hamas, they launched this attack against Israel on October 7th. They kill 1,000 civilians. Barbaric, just crazy. They mow down a bunch.
I mean, that's, yeah, Logan, that's what the court is for. They could they bring it to court, and the jury or the judge decides whether or not the lies were spread intentionally based on like existing law and existing previous cases and stuff. Trump supporters could claim a lot of people spread lies. I mean, that's up to a judge. That's not up to us to decide whether or not somebody is spreading lies. But all we can do is look at what Ethan's case would be. Like, what is he saying that the lies are that were said about him? which I haven't even been able to find. Let's see.
Brett, I'm going to sue you.
Oh.
Wait. I'm literally going to sue you for defamation.
Uh-oh.
Oh boy.
And I can't wait for you. You know, you
Okay, does he mention it anymore here? Let's see.
in a thumbnail and said the YouTubers who backed a genocide. This is fucking disgusting. And I'm not.
So saying that he backed a genocide? Saying that he backed a genocide? Yeah, I feel like that's pretty obvious that he's not backing a genocide.
Not okay living in this world where these little fucking punk ass scumbags can just say this shit and get away with it. Like accusing people, usually defamation can be all different types of things. Someone supporting genocide, we throw this term around a lot. That's one of the most, I mean, can you say something more?
It's subjective. I feel like if you say I support genocide, then yeah, you could say that person supported genocide. But if you're accusing someone of supporting genocide to harm their career, like lie about them, but again, it would be up to a court. It wouldn't be up to us.
Not completely unjustified to be thinking about that sometimes. You guys are just hurt.
I see why he's accusing him of defamation. That's all I'm saying.
And you're kind of like dancing around and making very like loose, poorly thought out analogies for something that doesn't even apply to us. It's like,
okay, you're fucking retarded.
Me making this video is the standing up for something, and it's saying, fuck you, you guys are being bad. You know, I don't think you're bad people, but you're being bad. You're behaving poorly. You're hurting people.
I mean, go back to the civil rights. You think that the people who are like the white kids who are protesting with the black students, you think that they were just like not risking anything? Those kids who are marching with the black students and...
So in Ethan's analogy...
Wait, what is this? What?
People.
I mean, go back to the civil rights. You think that the people who are like the white kids who are protesting with the black students, you think that they were just like not risking anything? Those kids who are marching with the black students and...
So in Ethan's analogy, he's the black student and I'm the white student, but I'm the white student that's not, you know, marching by his side. I'm not doing the difficult thing. You're gonna have to march on your own.
That is a weird comparison. I will give idubbbz that. That was like a weird metaphor to bring up.
For now more than ever, and it's not completely unjustified to be thinking about that sometimes. You guys are just hurt, and you're kind of like dancing around and making very like loose, poorly thought out analogies for something that doesn't even apply to us. It's like me making this video is the standing up for something, and it's saying, fuck you, you guys are being bad. You know, I don't think you're bad people, but you're being bad. You're behaving poorly.
Am I just like have no attention span, or do I feel like this guy has not made like a well thought out explanation of what Ethan is exactly doing that's bad? It feels like he's very caught up in like, oh, he hates me, like he's like being mean to me, but like what specifically did he say that was like wrong or bad?
You're hurting people.
I mean, go back to the civil rights. You think that the people who are like the white kids who are protesting with the black students, you think that they were just like not risking anything? Those kids who are marching with the black...
This is like a very cringe analogy, though. This is like fair. That's a cringe analogy.
Students and...
So in Ethan's
it's definitely
analogy,
like not really like... I don't know. Maybe it kind of makes sense, but again, I'm just lost. I'm just so lost, but... It just is like a weird thing to bring up, like comparing yourself to like civil rights, the civil rights movement. I don't know, dude.
He's the black student and I'm the white student, but I'm the white student that's not, you know, marching.
Yeah. The thing is, content cops used to be structured. Like, this is not a content cop. Content cop used to have a very well-written, well-thought-out argument, specific things attacking specific points. This is just like a clusterfuck. Yeah. He's not comfortable. It really feels like, you know, he went from being the puppet master to the puppet. He's got a whole fist inside him, and they're talking with his little mouth. Somebody is telling him like what to do and say. I don't know. This doesn't feel like something that he like even believes or understands. Like he's just making arguments that he doesn't even really fully get. I don't know. Very weird, very disorganized, and
by his side. I'm not doing the difficult thing. You're gonna have to march on your own, black student.
Marching with the black students and...
I mean, why is it inspiring? Why is it inspiring?
Well, and it's the same thing, to bring it back to Hassan just because, but it kind of is the same thing. Like, I was thinking about going to Gaza until I found out it's dangerous. He's a total performative activist that doesn't give a single fuck about the cause.
It's been...
That's true. That's literally true.
Performed exquisitely, harassing one person and seamlessly transitioning into harassing another one. If anyone's been watching for the past fucking year, I'm pretty sure they have a good idea of your feelings about Hassan.
Like, people like Anissa are the perfect example.
Also, one thing that just crossed my mind is like, idubbbz keeps saying like H3 is harassing people. H3 is talking about people publicly. That is different than what other people have done to H3, which in this case was calling CPS on them and sending them to their house. Whatever happened to fucking don't touch the poo? Don't touch the poo. These people hate him so much, but like, I hate the word harassment. I hate how people overuse that word. But if we were to pick and choose, if anyone was being harassed, it would absolutely be Ethan. Just specifically on the fact that people are trying to fuck with him in real life. Like, people are trying to fuck with his life. Ethan is like if a Jewish wart with an inferiority complex became sentient. Have any of you seen the actual video of Ian delivering the "usually I'm the puppet master"? No, so that wasn't actually on video. That wasn't on video. That was something that Sam Hyde's crew member heard Ethan say. Or Ian say.
Friends with these people.
He's always been a puppet. He's got Kill, who gets bullied by all his friends' energy. Yeah, I don't know though, dude. Like in like 2017, the Content Cop series was so fucking legendary. Like if anyone was the puppet master at that time, it was idubbbz. But he lost all his credibility. He lost all his swag. He just became super lame. And now he's like trying to play into that whole character. And it's like, dude, you are just not this person. You are not that person anymore. You know, Anissa remind me of the kids that would join in with the cool kids when they bullied someone. Yeah. That's a pretty good way of thinking of it. Anissa made those. Yeah, I don't know, dude. He's just so cucked and like fucked up in the head now.
She's friends with Denims. Denims is streaming this story about our kid.
I'll show that, yeah.
Getting Giarda from the dog, whatever.
I'm sorry, I'll accept this position from anyone except you guys.
What's up, Snowman? Yeah, so this was the CPS thing. I don't even know if I explained it. Basically, like, they made some comment about their kids having these symptoms on their live stream, that they could possibly have this disease called like Giarda or something. And they're like, yeah, I don't know like how that happened, like, because apparently it's from dog poop or something. So all of these people heard Hila say that, and they jumped to the conclusion that Ethan and Hila's house is full of dog poop and just a dangerous environment for these kids, and that they had to call CPS to protect the kids from this horrible environment that they were in. Keep in mind, no evidence of this at all. Nobody has ever reported that Ethan and Hila's house is a disgusting mess and is unsafe for kids. Nobody's ever alleged that. It was just the brief mention of, oh, this disease can come from dog poop, that made people jump to this conclusion about the state of their house and call CPS and just totally, you know, invade their privacy. It's fucked up. Crazy.
You have laid the groundwork.
It would be one thing if, like, if you actually thought that was a likely scenario, that's one thing. If you had reason to believe that, oh, their house is not safe for kids, they're not in a good state, you know, they smell bad, whatever. That's one thing. That's like how the CPS line is supposed to be used to protect kids from abuse. But if you see somebody make a statement on the internet and you're like jumping to conclusions about that, that is not how that is supposed to be used. That is like quite literally an abuse of the CPS system.
For this type
It's like when people, it's like when old people call the cops on like teenagers for like hanging out. It's like you're just wasting their time and like abusing their resources. I've definitely seen the clip of the Puppet Master. Really? Ooh, I want to find that now. If anywhere, Kiwi Farms might have it. That's where I would look for it. Maybe post in the thread. The thing about Kiwi Farms is their search function is so bad. Their search is so bad. I don't understand how like people search for stuff on there. I usually have to search using like quotations. I have to spend a lot of time to find specific posts. It's really hard. But if you ask on like the idubbbz mega thread, then you might be able to find it. Somebody might have it. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to go to the bathroom. Let's see. We'll pull up some music for you guys.
Whatever.
What did I miss, guys? What did I miss? Yeah, I didn't know that was a thing. My understanding was that it was just something that happened off camera. But if you remember watching it, that's where I would look for it. Or at least ask Kiwi Farms if it exists. And you might, if it does exist, they would probably have it. All right, how much fucking longer is this, guys? I'm not gonna lie, I'm really bored of this video. Like, I feel like I've said everything that I need to say, but I feel like it would be sort of unfair for me to just stop watching halfway through. You know what I mean? So, we're gonna finish it, I guess.
Streaming, which is watching people's shit and giving your unfiltered reaction to it. Why would you expect Anissa, of all people, to say something to Denims? Okay, so by that logic, we should be saying shit to you guys all the time. But I have a feeling you guys wouldn't like if we said shit like that to you all the time. Yeah, we've been respecting you as independent content creators. You can do what you want. We'll treat you as adults. Maybe we shouldn't have been treating you as adults.
She could say so much, and it would make her a little bit uncomfortable, right? It's not comfortable. She'll get a little bit of shit.
Yeah, just for
But
saying
that would be commendable.
And by the way, it kind of speaks for itself that saying, hey, their house is...
I mean, Hila said it like earlier. The reason that they're not speaking out isn't just because they're a little scared. They're not just a little scared. They agree with what people are saying about Ethan and Hila. They co-sign it, but they don't want to directly say that because they want to keep their friendship because it's convenient for them. But that's why they were confronting Ian and Anissa about this, because it's like, hey, if you don't support this, say something. I feel like it's not that big of a deal. Like, if one of you guys had a friend that was talking shit about another friend and it made you uncomfortable, you would say something to that friend. But if it didn't make you uncomfortable and you agreed with it, you'd probably not really care and not say anything, right?
Claim they're, they're actually good people, like that's gonna get you shit. That kind of says it all, doesn't it?
There isn't a single person that I respect who would give a fuck if I publicly said that Ethan and Hila are great with their kids, Ethan and Hila didn't kill their dog, and Ethan and Hila wipe their asses or don't have giardia or whatever the prompt is. No one would care. The only person who would care is me, because I'm like, why did I tweet this out? I'm not tweeting out because I'm not your fucking lapdog. That's why I'm not tweeting it out. I'm not saying it to my audience because I don't give a fuck. It's not my business.
That's, in my opinion, doing something that's difficult.
Yeah, like, technically, yeah. Technically, you don't have to say anything. But, like, this is all on the basis that you are friends with these people. And I feel like it's fair for your friends to feel hurt by you not standing up for them. I'm just trying to think of a way where this would be like... I'm trying to think of any way for this to be reasonable for him to, like, not say anything. But it's literally just either convenience for his career or he agrees with the things that they're saying.
And standing by your principles. That's the whole point. That's what makes standing by your principles admirable, is that it's not always easy.
Why are you saying that I'm not standing up for my principles when you don't even know what they are? I get, like, we're a little bit past directly naming me, so we might have gone off on a tangent. If you maybe accepted the phone call and we talked about it, you could have asked me.
Anissa believes what she wants to believe, and Ian believes what Anissa believes. That is so true. That is actually factual.
Hey, what are your principles? And I can tell you the way I've been behaving is exactly in line with my principles. Now we're going to talk about the BDS list. We're going to start off with Frogan because obviously this is like as bad as it gets.
Boycott these creators now for their complicity in not deep-throating Ethan Klein.
If you're following Frogan, that can
just the characterization of this is so dishonest and, like, I don't know, dude. Like, does he not understand? Is it possible that idubbbz doesn't understand the situation? Is it possible that, like, it's just Anissa talking to him about it and that's his entire understanding of it is through Anissa's framing of it? Or maybe through, like, these other content creators' framing of it? Because that would, like, make sense if he never looked at any of these clips himself, if he never understood what Ethan was actually saying, then yeah, that would make sense. Like, he would think, oh, this guy's crazy because all of these people have told me. But I don't know, dude. I feel like he'd have to be really, really dense to not look at what Ethan is actually saying himself. He has to, like, somewhat agree with it. I'm just repeating myself at this point. I'm just saying the same fucking things over and over. There's not much more that I can add. Like, to this.
Mean that you're anti-Ethan. Oh, this is not a good start. Love of the H3 podcast. You are following Frogan, so that means that you are anti-Ethan. Sam, Morg Pie, friend of the show. Olivia, Ian, Daily Dose of Internet is anti-Ethan? Jesus, this is fucked up. Pokimane, comment etiquette. Oh shit, Asmongold's in here? Asmongold follows Frogan? No, Asmon. That means you're anti-Ethan. That's fucked up.
Yeah, if you follow, yeah, he's totally saying if you follow Frogan, you hate him. That's totally what he's saying.
We're going to want to avoid these creators at the top of the list, but one tier below them are the
Oh, I get it. This is why we're having like Noah Samson fans coming into my stream.
creators who associate with them. They're
Classic.
essentially
How big is Noah Samson's channel? 552K. Are his fans like really like insane and obsessive like Hassan fans? I would imagine they are, but
all of their statements.
that guy was in here earlier saying like, yeah, it's really weird for Ethan to like threaten to sue someone over his opinion.
You got me, you got Anissa, I think Hassan's in there. You'd think that Hassan would be on the top of the BDS list, but that's not the case. Hassan provides additional value for people. Ethan can turn a blind eye to people collaborating with Hassan because that's what he did. You gotta be the lowest of the low to be associating with the Frogans and the Denims of the world. To associate with Hassan, that just makes sense because he's famous and he's got a massive fan base. Also, Ethan still follows Hassan on Instagram, so Hassan is in his feed.
And that's showing up right up on us Nisa's and idubbbz feed.
It's important to remember that this is a living document and people can be removed or put onto it depending on how Ethan's feeling that day. You have this other tier of creators that exist below Hassan but are still anti-Ethan.
I'd love to see Ian's live reaction to being asked what he and Anissa don't agree on. Well, yeah, dude. Oh my God. I saw, there was this clip that Big Bungie, rest in peace, by the way. Big Bungie, legendary YouTuber, is now only on Patreon, I believe. I know he has a Rumble. Anyways, he was watching this Creator Clash stream, and it illustrated this moment. It illustrated this perfect dynamic between idubbbz and Anissa. Let's see if I can find it. Fuck, where is it? All right. Well, anyways, I'll just explain it, but I'll have to find it at some point and share it in my Discord. But essentially, what happens is they're practicing boxing, and idubbbz is like sparring and like practicing stuff, and he's like, this is called like a swivel or something, and Anissa's like, no, that's called a I don't know, pivot. Let's just say pivot. It wasn't pivot. It was something else. And he was like, you see, he has this confused look on his face for a second. He knows that it's not called a pivot. He knows that it's not called a pivot. And he's debating in his head whether or not to correct her and disagree with her. And then 5-10 seconds later, he's like, oh, I must have had that confused. I must have had that confused. So you're not going to challenge her on that at all? You're not going to question, oh, who's right in this situation? You're just going to immediately assume that Anissa is correct and your memory is wrong. That just perfectly illustrates the dynamic between them. He just goes with everything she says.
But Ethan really doesn't want to bring your attention to these ones because it's kind of unpopular, you know? A lot of them are famous. It's no coincidence that Ethan stays silent when these powerful, popular men are supporting Hassan. It's because Ethan is a coward. He's a bitch-made coward. I think Ethan has an unreasonable amount of respect for these comedians because they have power, they're quick, and I think he knows that they don't fuck with his ideology, but he's gonna keep that to him.
What gives you the impression that any of the comedians fuck with your ideology instead, Mr. idubbbz, or should I say Hassan and Anissa's ideology. All these people are totally, yeah, they're totally like hyper leftists. You're right. You're right, Ian. That's probably, it's not just that they, you know, don't really care about politics that much and want to collaborate with popular streamers. It's that they agree with your politics.
Himself, because the last thing that he wants to discover is that people that he respects and looks up to, they don't fuck with him.
Bill Burr came on. It was like the worst fucking show. It was just horrible. That was like my lowest moment on podcast history. We could talk about Bill Burr.
Yeah, Anissa cuts Ian off. She answers things for him. And then he'll say stuff like, oh, you just said it better than I could have said it. Like he thinks lower of himself based on her, what she does and says. You know what I mean? Like he puts her up on a pedestal. It's the most bizarre dynamic ever.
Burr ruined my life. Bill Burr made Ethan go on Lexapro. I was prescribed it and it was in my bedside. And then it was the Bill Burr episode that made me finally start.
When Stavros goes on Hassan's stream and he mocks...
Is that Anthony Fantano, by the way? This guy looks so much... No, Fantano doesn't have hair.
Bro, I was prescribed it.
No, he doesn't look like Fantano right here. For a second, he did, though.
And then
right here, he kind of looks like him. Am I crazy?
It was the Bill Burr episode that made me finally start.
When Stavros goes on Hassan's stream and he mocks your content nuke...
I actually saw a really interesting video about you, man, and I don't know that I'm even comfortable being here anymore.
Oh, no.
It really kind of shed light on you in a way.
Yeah.
You kind of like have leftist politics and stuff like that, and I actually feel betrayed.
Yeah,
And so I'm actually just here to let you know this is the last time I'm ever coming.
You don't fire back because you're coping. So you're just gonna tuck your tail between your legs and never mention on your podcast that mentions everything. You're bringing up some fucking connection I have on Twitter. Someone mocks you on a stream, you're not touching it. Fuck you, you're a coward. It's just his job. It's just what he does for his job. You know, he doesn't mean it. We're actually good friends. You know, he makes fun of everyone. It's not just me, right?
Yeah, wait, is H3 friends with Starvos? What is so we went on his podcast. He went on his podcast, but are they like close friends? What? Well, I'm confused at this comparison. He's saying like, oh, you wouldn't call out Stavros, but you would call out me? It's like, yeah, but you're supposed to be their friend.
You're a coward.
You're not just like a occasional collaborator.
It's just his job. It's just what he does for his job. You know, he doesn't mean it. We're actually good friends. You know, he makes fun of everyone. It's not just me, right? Oh, also, I can't forget about Matt Lieb. Matt Lieb is in this like middle tier. His valuable association is Rhett and...
It should be. For sure. Dude, it's all fucking gaslighting. I have never seen such a serious case of somebody gaslighting someone, changing their entire personality over a period of years. And I will stand by this, that Anissa did that to him. She molded him like Play-Doh. And yeah, it was part of it his fault for being vulnerable and moldable. Yeah, but like, I don't think that it was something where he intentionally changed, transformed into this new person. It was something that was done to him.
Link. So Rhett and Link.
The worst part is too, like, he could go back to being epic and based. He could be based idubbbz again, and none of us could see him the same way ever again, even if he said all the perfect things that we all liked and agreed with, because we've seen how spineless and weak he is now. It's like I said earlier, the illusion is shattered. He's not the same person. You've seen that flaw in his character, and now you can't unsee it. Oh my god, my fucking dog is barking. Hold on.
Purchase your tracks today.
All right. Just making a joke and not choosing sides. Yeah. Yeah, that didn't seem super serious. I don't get what the big deal was.
Conveniently are also in this category of popular and powerful men who Ethan does not want to burn bridges with. Although he's sniffing around.
This guy, Matt Lieb, he works for Good Mythical Morning. Of all people, this guy, Matt Lieb, who apparently is a producer for Good Mythical Morning. Well, this guy works for Good Mythical Morning, acting like he's wholesome, and he's bringing on somebody that wants to kill my wife, or in a video game. And I think he should be fired.
The Bad Empanada guy, by the way, is fucking crazy.
Frankly. And I hope he is fired. He's pathetic. And he interviewed basically a terrorist.
I think Ethan only respects power right now, which is one of the reasons I made this video in the first place, is because he thinks I'm weak. He thinks a lot of these other creators that he's gone out of his way to attack, he thinks that they're weak, and he thinks they're a target that he can bully, he can manipulate, he can send lawsuits.
He can bully and manipulate.
To, and I want him to know.
Again, we'll go over the lawsuit thing. I don't know if there's multiple suits, but from what I looked at, it seemed like a pretty reasonable claim to defamation. Like, if Noah Samson, the only way that wouldn't be defamation is if Noah Samson didn't do his research at all and he had no idea what Ethan was actually promoting. So it's either Noah Samson doesn't do his research and he's really stupid, or he's intentionally spreading misinformation. That's what it looks like to me. So
that we're not going to be bullied. You're being
and also bullying. It's bullying to call out Frogan and to call out them. Just because someone's a small content creator or a smaller content creator than H3 doesn't give them the right to say things about him that are like, it doesn't give them the right to not be criticized, is what I'm saying. It doesn't give them the right to not be criticized just because they have a smaller audience. Who cares?
And I want him to know that we're not going to be bullied. You're being a piece of shit and we're going to call you out.
So here's the button.
I don't understand how he's how is he bullying anyone? Just the whole characterization of this is like, again, just seems like idubbbz doesn't understand what he's talking about. For any Game of Thrones fans, this idubbbz content cop reminded me of Theon having to be convinced not to be Reek long enough to get the guys in the castle to surrender. Yeah, so I've watched like some of Game of Thrones, but it's been so long since I've watched it. Was that the guy? Was that the guy who was like tied up for like a long time and being tortured and stuff?
Audio. We're hitting both.
So this is a button. This is the thing where he can basically delete some of his live stream. So there's a delay on the stream and he can push the button if he says something that he wants deleted from the stream. And then the stream waiting screen will come up and it'll return when they press the button again.
Yes.
There's no point.
Let's leave.
Yeah, there's no need.
Yeah.
I don't want to. Oh, shit. Like, how pathetic are you? Don't worry if you don't have it all now. All gone. I don't like pedophile. Like the Eye of Sauron. I see you. Yeah. I see you out there, you fucking cockroach. You'll be living with your parents for a lot longer, buddy. Yes, please. I want to be a good Jew. I'm a good Jew. Please, guys, please.
That was fine. Yeah, I don't think it was that.
That was fine.
Big a deal. Of all the things that
Anywho.
it always surprises me what you think crosses the line.
Well, I looked at Olivia and she's like, yes, do it.
Now let's talk about the button. Ethan got this
Here we go.
button or kill switch as a response
The guy that got his junk cut up. Oh, okay. I feel like I remember that.
To the controversy with Cutie Cinderella. He was not able to control himself.
Okay, I've already seen this segment. I already have, like, I feel like I feel like this characterization of Ethan as saying, like, okay, he says some things that he regrets on live stream, and he has to delete those things from his live stream, to the point where he had to get a button to erase parts of the stream. It's like, so what? Yeah, he says crazy things sometimes that are a little out of line, and he has to delete parts of that from his live stream. Who cares? He got the button in order to just like adhere to the YouTube TOS. How is that a dig at him? You know what I mean? I feel like everybody on live streams has some cringe moments that they wish that didn't happen. I just don't understand how that's like a problem that he wants to be able to delete parts of his live streams. I feel like that's just not like an own in any way. And also, how is that connected to any of the hardly even arguments that are being made here? Like, what does this have to do with anything? Now you're just attacking a completely different part of his character. You're saying, oh, he's so out of line all the time, and he says all these crazy things that he has to delete from his live streams.
In that moment, and instead of figuring out
Has nothing to do with fucking this Palestine stuff that he's been talking about the entire time.
Behavior, he spent $20,000.
Dan and Ela were like, we would kill button that right now if we could. I can't change who I am.
I know. That's why the kill button is on its way.
That's it. See, exactly.
He uses the button for everything. If his jokes don't land, he's hitting the button.
It was being presented as if the Jordan crying thing.
I hit the button.
Why?
I don't think I needed to, but you guys were giving me crickets, so I panicked.
If he's insecure...
Is that not a bit? Like, guys, I used the kill button that's for emergencies because my joke wasn't funny. Do I really have to, like, explain that?
About getting something wrong.
Like, that's very obvious for a viewer to understand.
He's hitting the button.
But, okay.
What? Button for that? What on this frame could Ethan have responded to? Perhaps the country flag that he got wrong? Maybe. I don't know.
If he goes on a problematic tirade, he's hitting the button.
Before, look how sad. But yeah, it's not just that. Like, their eyes are like big. I think you guys are wrong.
That's funny as fuck, dude.
Wrong on this one. I think you guys are all wrong on this one.
I don't think he's unique.
I think you guys are wrong on this one. Yeah, it's not just that. Like, their
He's just on a picture of a bunch of Asian eyes, and he's like, their eyes are big.
Their eyes are like big. I think you guys are wrong on this one. I think you guys are all wrong on this one.
That's funny. Come on, dude. That's so harmless, too. That's so fucking harmless. How is that a problematic tirade? Dude, find me an Asian person that wouldn't laugh at like an Asian small eyes joke. Find me one.
Unique in hitting the button. I think if all of us had buttons,
He didn't even
we'd hit the
say
button.
that. He just hinted. He just said something that could be interpreted as like a slightly racist joke. Like, what?
All the time. But if you don't have
Also, if anything, the button makes that even funnier. The button makes that funnier than it actually was.
it, you operate differently. You think about what you're saying. You maybe plan for your show a little bit more. You maybe say, I'm not going to have my podcast be an emotional dumping ground for today. You instead say, ooh, it's important that we stay on topic. Also, the H3 community.
idubbbz knows a lot about making a good podcast. He obviously is the one with the authority to talk about podcasts here. He's a really good podcaster. He's a really good podcaster, guys. This guy knows what he's talking about when it comes to podcasts. You know what's funny also is this podcast was actually good when they were talking about drama, because it was like a lolcow thing where you would watch the podcast to see them flipping out at like all the people who were shitting on them. Yeah, I thought it was a bit. Yeah, it's like
Community and Ethan himself used the phrase.
this critique is just so out of place here. Like it would, okay, for the Keemstar Content Cop, for example, he had a bunch of different smaller segments about personality flaws with Keemstar that So each segment was about a different thing. If this video was like that, where he was like just broadly focused on Ethan's personality flaws, and he had a section about his impulsivity, and the button was one of the points, that would make sense. That would make sense. But the way that he structured this video is the entire thing is about how Ethan is lashing out against all of these creators unjustly. He's just freaking out at people for no reason. That's been the entire 40 minutes so far. And then suddenly we got a segment called The Button, about how he has a button to erase parts of his live streams.
Goblin mode all the time to excuse a lot of his shitty behavior or make it seem less
Oh,
bad.
his shitty behavior. To excuse a lot of his shitty behavior. Shut the fuck up.
Goblin mode, actually.
He uses the term goblin mode to excuse his problematic behavior. Why are you so fucking gay? Shut the fuck up. What is wrong with this guy?
Claiming that what happens is he just gets into this like uncontrolled state he refers to as goblin mode.
I do not call myself goblin mode.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what you did.
Goblin mode? Is that what you're calling Tourette's now? To all victims of goblin mode, I would like to issue...
Ethan's jokes in this video are funnier than idubbbz is. And this is supposed to be a content cop video. Ethan, in these like clips that idubbbz has specifically selected to make him look bad, has made me laugh more than idubbbz. How pathetic is that?
Do an apology.
You are goblin mode today. You're goblin mode. Look how many times you paused the
I'm trying,
video.
bro. And I don't think there's no room for using the term goblin mode. I like the idea that you're defending yourself and the little guy by going goblin mode when a big corporation or a big entity is trying to attack you.
Like, if you fuck me over, if you steal money from me, if you patronize me, if you do any of this shit like you're trying to do to me, to treat me like a fucking idiot, I'm crazy, dude. I've gone fucking goblin mode over way less.
But you not thinking about what you're saying, not, you know...
You don't think about what you say. You say problematic things sometimes and you have to press the button. I wish he said more problematic things. I wish you said more problematic things, idubbbz.
Reflecting on your behavior, not changing your behavior, that's not goblin mode.
You gotta reflect on your behavior and change your behavior. What is... Why? Are you like trying to look pathetic and soy like on purpose? That's just what this comes across as. It's like, I'm actually really woke now and I'm soy. Guys, I can't believe Ethan's so problematic and he won't change his behavior.
Being a child. Let's talk about the crew. I think the crew has been put in the worst working environment.
Oh, here we go.
That you possibly can be for a fucking podcast. Every crew member has it bad. To be around Ethan, period, would be a nightmare right now.
I'm standing by every
Oh yeah, it would be such a nightmare. That would be such a nightmare. I feel so bad for his crew. I feel so bad for his crew. They have to work with this absolute goblin nightmare. Like, why would you even say this? They can quit. They don't have to be there. They could just work somewhere else. If they were suffering, if he was such a nightmare to work with, they could just quit and go somewhere else. In fact, he would probably have a lot higher of a turnover rate if that were the case. But he doesn't. All of his employees stay with him for a very long time. He's had Dan since the very beginning. He's had Ian since like the very beginning. I don't know. Does Ian doesn't work there anymore though, huh? He had Ian for a long fucking time though, like 5 or 6 years. He has Zach from the very beginning. Only in the past like 3 years since the podcast started growing a lot more did he have to get new workers. He got AB and he got what's that girl's name? The girl that I hate. What's her fucking name? Anyways, he does not have a high turnover rate, which speaks to how good of an employer he probably is. I hate how this video or this stream so far, it just sounds like I'm dick riding Ethan Klein so much. Because the thing is, like, the way that idubbbz has structured this, it like forces me to take Ethan's side on everything. Because idubbbz's video is so fucking bad. He has literally almost no reasonable criticisms. I think there were a couple minor things where I gave him some credit. But other than that, it's like, it's just pathetic.
Fucking syllable of that, okay? What she did was abhorrent. And by the
Maybe
way...
iDub should have made this video like 4 years ago when Ethan Klein was much more annoying and when he was being much more heavily criticized by people. But of course, iDubbbz wouldn't have done that back then because that was when he started becoming more woke, more socially conscious. Oh shit. We just went back. We're like 42.
You know, Dan's in the bathroom. Let's just not do this right now.
I asked if Korean people are POCs.
The one time the button didn't work and we listened to how he spoke
Did I skip
to
forward? I think I did.
AB without thinking that the internet was
Yeah,
going
meet
to
ride harder. Meet ride H3 harder.
hear it.
True.
It was rude. It was nasty, and it didn't have this caveat of like, "I'm not mad at you." It was anger, and it was uncalled for.
Use they get access to cover most of it.
We're doing it.
What are you doing?
Yeah, have a good night, Caleb.
Awkward and terrible.
I'm sorry, I'm not.
Just like this is what I'm talking about when it's always like.
We need to get home for our kids.
It's like, bro.
Oh no, I didn't want to finish it right now. I just I'm about finishing Wednesday.
Oh, this is the thing where he's saying that their employees are like getting abused.
Is it? You guys like.
All right, I'm taking my hand off the. What? Okay, well.
Heard all that. Thanks, button.
And he didn't want to take accountability for it. He immediately wanted to deflect, and he wanted to say that the button fucked him.
First of all,
Okay, I remember when this clip was going around like a few months ago. This like isn't really. This was blown way out of proportion. It's like, yeah, Ethan was a little bit rude to his worker. I don't. Which one was it? It was AB, I think. He was being a little bit rude to AB, a little bit short with him. But like, is that really that big of a deal? Like, is that really that out of the norm? I feel like you can be in a bad mood at work and have an argument with a coworker and it's okay. It doesn't mean that you're abusive. It doesn't mean that you're a bad boss if you get kind of mad at someone. It's obviously not out of control. Like, he's obviously just like a little frustrated and expressing that. So like, what is that? Like, what is this? What is, if he was so abusive, again, this AB guy would have left.
Appreciate the hard work.
I know you do.
And I loved it, and I really enjoy it. But it's like every time we do it, it's like the show is what it is, and
I know.
it makes it.
I was being selfish.
No, dude, that button f***ed me, dude. Can you imagine that button f***ing me over like that?
The button fucked you? AB fucked you? Who fucked you? You fucked yourself.
The button didn't fuck him over because it made him look super mean. The button fucked him over because it was awkward to show this like workplace like disagreement to their audience. This is like, I don't know, dude. Like, I feel like people who think that this is like workplace abuse have never worked any job before where they've ever had a disagreement with someone. It's like, yeah, you get into little fights with people, but it doesn't really mean anything. You've all had a long day. You're frustrated, whatever. You know, these people, you move past it. It's not like something where you're like, oh my God, he's so mean. He's so mean. I can't work here anymore. I don't want to go to work tomorrow. It's just a minor awkward thing that's a little uncomfortable for a moment.
By being an asshole. He makes it seem like he's not a tyrant of a boss.
We're doing it.
Oh my God, dude. He's saying he's a tyrant of a boss? He's a tyrant? Really? Dude, I wouldn't even say that about idubbbz. Idubbbz isn't a tyrant. No, these people, I would expect both of them, idubbbz and Ethan, would be good bosses. I feel like working for them would be pretty pleasant. And especially Ethan, because he has a lot of experience at this point with hiring people and managing people. Why would you call someone a tyrant for like a minor workplace disagreement? It's so stupid.
What are you doing? So awkward and terrible.
I appreciate the hard work.
I know you do.
And I loved it, and I really enjoy it.
Dan, his producer, is constantly clarifying things on the air and making it clear that what Ethan said was a joke. Ethan is being overly defensive, or he's saying things that are like not true and he's exaggerating.
People saw that. They thought that that was what you searched to
I did
pull
not
up that photo. So I'm just clarifying.
Thank you for clarifying. I appreciate you doing that. God forbid.
It's okay because I buttoned it.
Why?
Because
it's not that big of a deal, man.
Just
Like,
your
how
inability to...
Dude, okay, I will say this. On their streams, Dan does annoy me sometimes, like quite often, honestly, with this type of stuff. Like, oh, guys, Ethan actually didn't really mean that. Okay, yeah, like anyone with fucking more than 5 brain cells can figure out that Ethan is a funny comedian guy. He's making a joke. He makes jokes sometimes. He exaggerates. He says things like just to be funny. Yeah, obviously that was a joke. Or like Dan, like, I don't know. He's like trying to rein him in a little bit. And it's like the whole appeal to H3, at least when I first originally was watching them, which I was never a super fan, but the entire appeal was that he was a little bit unhinged and deranged, like in a good way, in like a funny way. And their podcast was supposed to capture that same kind of energy. Like, I don't need somebody telling me, oh, he's not serious about that, by the way. It's like, yeah, I know. I fucking know. I feel like even like his normie audience knows that too. People are used to him being a humorous, funny guy. The only people who would interpret things that he's saying in like a bad way, like interpret jokes as like serious things, probably people who aren't really fans anyways, right?
No. Hold on, Dan. How does it change anything? People knowing that we did it.
It's fun when it's a surprise.
Okay, well,
Well, you just asked how it changed
surprise
things.
them on your show.
Okay, all right.
You know, I understand that that's his role, and he's, you know, Ethan's made that his job, or Dan's made it his job. Ethan leans on it so heavily, in the same way that he leans on the button. Ethan is leaning on all of these people to be adults and look after his behavior and give all of this emotional and
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I guess, you know, it's like maybe his like audience from like the Trisha Paytas people are just like really sensitive. Definitely when he started pandering to like the really sensitive lefty people, his audience definitely had. I feel like you have to do that kind of stuff with that type of audience. So maybe it is. Maybe it is just hism.
an empathetic energy for Ethan.
I don't know. I feel like if you watch like more than 3 episodes, you start to get in the rhythm of like, oh, he's like joking, but I don't know. Yeah, Dan is like overly paranoid that Ethan's gonna get canceled for everything. He's got very nervous energy on the streams. And like Dan will contribute things that are good to the show sometimes. But for the most part, when he's reining in Ethan, it's like, you don't need to do that.
Ethan refuses to give it back to them. Also, let's talk about AB and Lena, 2 Lebanese employees, and you just continue to talk about the conflict like they don't exist. It would be nicer.
What does Lebanon have to do with this? What the fuck? You have 2 Lebanese employees and you're talking about the Israel-Palestine conflict? Who cares? Wait, so if you're from Israel, do you necessarily have to support Israel in the war? Are you not allowed to talk about Palestine around people who are from Israel? What the fuck? That is such a bizarre way to look at things. It's like this worldview that people just are confined by where they're from and their race and their skin color is so absurd to me. Like, why the fuck would you make the assumption that they're from Lebanon, so they have to support Palestine? They must be really uncomfortable with what Ethan's saying because they're Lebanese. Like, what is that? That's like a racial assumption that you're making about someone. What the fuck? It's so bizarre, dude. This fucking like progressive woke stuff just goes full circle at a certain point.
A lot nicer for you to shut the fuck up about it. You're allowed to do that.
Hezbollah and
yeah, on your own show, because you should think about the races of the people who work for you and change what you talk about based on the race of the people around you. Yeah, that's really progressive. That's really progressive to change your behavior based on the races of people around you.
Syria alone killed double that much.
How is this not like fucking racist? What the fuck? You know what it is? You know what it fucking is? It's because Anissa uses that I'm 0.2% Lebanese as the rationale to why she has to support Palestine. And you know who she learned that from? Is Frogan, who's also like half Lebanese or something, I think. Yeah, I'm Lebanese, so like Israel invaded Lebanon at one point, so like I just have personal feelings against Israel, so I have to support Palestine. Like, no, your race doesn't mean you have to support one thing or another. You should look at the fucking situation and you should come to your own conclusions about it.
All right, I'm gonna move on. I just want to play.
People have like so many like self-limiting beliefs when it comes to like their race and stuff. It is so weird.
Son talking about Bad Empanada.
Ethan doesn't want to change, and he wants to bring the entire crew down with him because he's putting them in this position every day, right? But it's more important that he gets this shit off his chest. It's more important.
The amount of subs they've lost, I hope that shifts. Wait, how many subs has H3 lost? Wait, no, it's podcast. I guess we would have to look at their metrics. I'll look at that on another screen.
That he dumps. We're all familiar with Goblin mode. Well, Ethan debuted a new mode recently.
And by the way, my ratio is pretty good. Like I'm looking at like 20 Goblin modes to 1 too far. Demon mode, let's call it.
What makes Demon mode different than Goblin mode is goblins aren't really like an intimidating, powerful force. If the goblin is persistent, it can get what it wants.
When I'm done with the other one, the big one that's dropping probably next week.
Okay, Social Blade is blocked because of my VPN, but let's see. Subscribers. Yeah, they have been losing a little bit of subs. Ooh, in the past year, they've lost, how much is this? 2.89, 2.72. So like 100K, just about, like a little more. Wait, am I stupid? Oh yeah, 180K. There it is. Wow. April 2022, they dropped till 2023, and then it increased, and they dropped a lot more. Interesting.
My full attention is going to you, George.
I didn't know that because. So I never really watched their podcast in the earlier days. I saw clips and yeah, like it would annoy me. I felt like Ethan had really fallen off. But I feel like over the past year, I've seen so much more of their podcast and the clips are so much better. Like I feel like they've genuinely improved a lot. And their show is like, not only that, I feel like they get way more live viewers now and stuff. I feel like they have like 40K live viewers during their streams now. So I would expect them to be doing better right now. Yeah, does this really need a breakdown? Yeah, Goblin mode.
Like the Eye of Sauron. I see you. I see you out there, you fucking cockroach.
Ethan, the reason the internet got behind you when you were being sued by Matt Haas or when you were being sued by Ryan Kavanaugh is because people saw you as the underdog. They saw you as the guy who's defending the common man.
I'm suing and I cannot wait for you guys to read it. At the moment, we are writing 3 complaints for 3 people.
You are doing the classic rich asshole thing. You have a deficit of friends, you have a surplus of enemies. You feel really bad, you feel hurt, but you also have a surplus of money. So what can you do? You can use that money to bully and intimidate people. These public legal threats that you're making to fellow creators, these legal threats that you're making to people on Reddit.
Okay, using the term, like saying that he's using money to bully people, it's like, I feel like what he's implying is like he's going after people with less money to intimidate them. But if you genuinely think that you have a defamation case against someone, it doesn't matter how much money they have. If they are making defamatory statements about you, you genuinely believe that to be true, which, you know, there's a lot of people saying crazy shit about Ethan right now. I feel like he is well within his right, as long as it is in good faith, he thinks that they're being defamatory, to go after them, sue them. That's why we have those laws. Like, it doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter if you're rich or if you're poor. If somebody's making statements about you that are untrue to try to harm you specifically, then you might have a defamation case.
On Twitter, you're like, I'm hurt. These people are hurting me. What do I do to stop it? There's nothing I can do to stop it. I'm powerless. No, you have a ton of power, you have a ton of options, you have a ton of choice. That's exactly what you get for being filthy rich, is you can do all of these things.
Also, isn't idubbbz like pretty filthy rich too? I mean, I know he's fallen off really hard, but he was like a massive YouTuber like 7 years ago. Oh shit, he has titties on his arm. Wait, he has titties.
I've never want to sue someone for defamation.
Wait, his tattoos are so fucking bad, dude.
Is you can do all of these things.
His tattoos are so awful. He has literally the most generic, like, sticker pack tattoos ever.
Never want to sue someone for defamation, but like at what point do you kind of fucking have to? I mean, this is like basically someone calling you a pedophile. Be like, yeah, you know, Ethan's a pedophile.
Dan Clancy or whatever, like the CEO of Twitch, and being
Pedophile. Dan KKK Clancy has a similar view of Hitler. Because Dan Clancy,
That's funny, though. That's funny. That's a joke. Is it not?
Nazi. Fucking...
Wait, that was the clip. Hold on. The clip where H3 says pedophile is the clip that they showed in full on their stream earlier today, where after Ethan says that, he goes, no, I'm just kidding. He's not a pedophile. That was a joke. But Ian cut that part out. Ian cut that part out to make him look like he's like a hypocrite. That's so crazy. Yeah, pretending they're not wealthy, literally. True.
It's a similar view of Hitler.
You're just a bad rich guy. You're like evil because you're like bullying people and you're rich. So like, dude, like, come on.
Because Dan Clancy, the Nazi, fucking anti-Semite. There are certain things you can accuse people of that rise above.
Okay, I will say again, anti-Semite. I don't know. I'm sure that some of the people involved in the story might have, you know, secret anti-Semitic views. But yeah, I don't know if I would assume that most of these people don't. That's my stance on that. I think that and I think that if you overuse the anti-Semite word, you kind of make it lose its meaning a little bit. So I don't know. I feel like there's plenty of stuff to focus on and criticize about these people. Like, even if they aren't anti-Semites, you're still right about all of their behaviors. You know what I mean? All of your critiques are still perfectly valid. They don't hit harder because you call them anti-Semites, I guess.
To make it like actionable, which is like wrongfully accusing someone of being a pedophile, a sex criminal, a murderer, shit like that.
Dan Clancy
Online.
now, in other words, he is a pedophile.
You have so much less to go off of saying that
Oh
than
no,
anybody
I'm
has
just saying
about
based
Dream.
on his looks. Just on his base.
Yeah, just based on his looks.
Well, at least you're self-aware.
That's 100% a joke. I have no evidence to conclude.
Oh, there we
that.
go. Okay. He did show that clip. He did show the end of the clip.
He is.
One of the more notable...
So if he's clarifying that it's a joke, then it's not defamation, because defamation means that you're intentionally making a statement which you know to be false in order to cause harm to someone's life in some way, or career, or reputation. That's what defamation is. So by definition, that's not a good comparison. That's not defamation.
Legal threats that Ethan has sent out recently is against Noah Sampson.
I have nothing but vibes to gain, and potentially your money as well. Don't worry if you don't have it all now. I'll garnish your wages. You're going to be living with your parents for a lot longer, buddy. 26, you know what I mean? Try 46.
Noah made a video that was critical of Ethan and other content.
This guy looks so funny to me, by the way. The Noah Sampson guy. I don't know why. This face is just like, it's just a funny face. Like, this isn't a serious person. You can't look at this guy and say this is a serious person.
When they're talking about Israel and Palestine. I mean, the way he's talking about Noah on his podcast.
You know what we need? We need an idubbbz video going in depth about Israel and Palestine. Idubbbz, you know, you would have a lot more credibility talking about how Ethan is super wrong about Israel-Palestine if you went ahead and made a video breaking down the conflict and explaining your stances on everything. So, you know, I'm really curious to see what you specifically think. Let's do that. Let's do that. Why not do that? Since you seem so opinionated on it.
Is so fucking creepy and weird.
Is this a new thing?
This is a new thing. This happened during the show. Upon initial examination, it seems to check out, and it's not great for young Noah.
Can I say that? Don't say it yet.
I'll say it.
So he's a rape. So of course his standard. I don't know what he's accused of, so I'm not actually going to say. But
Ethan brought on a former partner of Noah to basically just shit talk him and say that he's a bad partner. But that's all that Ethan was able to extract out of it.
You are not a...
Wait, that's not true. Maybe I'm getting these people mixed up. But wasn't there someone who was saying that, like, he was having sex with other girls without protection and not telling her? So they were, like, in an open cuck relationship. He was fucking other girls without a condom and not telling the main girl that he was dating. That's beyond just being, like, a mean, bad guy. Like, that's, like, violating in a way. It's not like rape. It's not rape. But you get what I'm saying. It's like a weird boundary thing. Really weird. And you could be endangering someone by doing that. So yeah, that goes a little bit beyond just being a bad partner. You're a bad partner.
Accusing him of committing any crimes or doing R-word or anything like that. The accusation is that he's a sleaze.
Absolutely. Noah Sampson, as far as I know, is not a rapist.
Fuck you to Noah Sampson, who's not just a liar and a scumbag, but also a creep. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Now let's talk.
Okay, so it wasn't that girl that he just had on. But I did hear that. I did hear that from someone.
Talk about the left leaning.
Let me look that up to make sure if I need to take back this statement here.
He presents himself as someone like me, a left-leaning Democrat who supports basic things.
The thing that made me start to question Ethan's intentions is that when he was suggested to talk to Sam Cedar, a fellow progressive, a guy that Ethan respects and looks up to.
He works for...
I feel like I remember it being Noah Sampson, but hold up. Okay, I found one Reddit comment about it. Wait. Okay, here we go. He was cheating on her with other women while having unprotected sex. And he tried to rationalize it by saying, but I didn't sleep with anybody I met after you. Yeah, so, I mean, according to Reddit, that's what's going on.
With Sam Cedar at the Majority Report. I respect him and what they do there.
He kept saying that it was racist or anti-Semitic to suggest that he talked to someone who's within the same ethnic group as him.
That's why I said yesterday, like, I urge Ethan to talk to Sam Cedar. There are very thoughtful, very kind anti-Zion.
By the way, this is just Hassan saying, go talk to a guy who agrees with me to be right. Go talk to a guy who has my exact political takes about Palestine if you want to be educated and smart.
And as Jews out there that he could talk to, I don't think that I will be able to reach him.
What's the insinuation that I only listen to other Jewish people? You need to talk to my pre-approved list of Jews that like agree with me on everything. You know, it doesn't matter if they're Jewish, dude. It doesn't matter.
What's wrong with this statement? That's weird as fuck. Yeah, what Hassan said is weird as fuck. Is he literally just saying Sam Cedar, you would he could get to you because he's Jewish. He could get to you because he's a Jew and he's against Israel. So you need to talk to him. Weird. That's so fucking weird.
Matter if they're fucking Jewish.
I think most Jews.
I don't think Jews at large view it. I don't think that is the...
In what position are you to even say that?
It's not motivated by myself. It's motivated by Jews against anti-Zionist Jews.
Seriously, how can you speak for my entire ethnic group? I find that really interesting.
Ethan, I don't know what to fucking tell you.
You speak for my entire ethnic group.
Motivated by Jews against anti-Zionist Jews.
Seriously, how can you speak for my entire ethnic group? I find that really interesting.
How are these conflicting, like, opinions? Jewishness being extremely relevant to Ethan versus Jewishness being not relevant to Ethan.
anti-Zionist
No,
Jews.
seriously, how can you speak for my entire ethnic group? I find that really interesting.
Ethan, I don't know what to
In both of these cases, it's the same thing. It's Hassan saying, well, Ethan, you know that there's Jews who are against Zionism. You know there's Jews who are against the state of Israel, right? Are those both not like...
How can you speak for my
motivated?
entire-
But I don't think that is the...
In what position are you to even say that?
It is
You
not
speak for my
motivated by
entire ethnic
myself.
group.
It's motivated
That's
by
crazy to me.
Jews against anti-Zionist
No,
Jews.
seriously, how can you speak for my
In both, yeah, literally in both cases, it's Hassan suggesting that Ethan needs to go and look at the anti-Zionist Jews. Like, it's basically the same thing. These are not conflicting opinions or responses at all.
entire ethnic
Like this isn't a point. This doesn't prove anything.
group? I find that really interesting.
Ethan, I don't know what to fucking tell you. This is like step one of having a leftist ideology, is recognizing our race, religion, nationality.
This is step one. Yeah, I know you're just on step one of being a woke guy. Unlike me, I'm on step 15. But yeah, let me break it down for you.
All this shit, all shape our experiences as people.
That's the reason why it'd be better served to have this conversation not with myself, but with an anti-Zionist Jewish person.
Why does it matter if they're Jewish?
Because I'm not Jewish, and you've said in this conversation that, like, how can you tell me how to feel about the situation?
Yeah, but how is one person a representative of Jews at large? I'm just telling you how Jewish people around the world interpret that phrase.
So yes, Ethan, on a
Sam doesn't want to get involved. I don't see the point in invoking his name. Yeah, who even is Sam Cedar? Is he like he must be like a left-wing guy, right? Like a left-wing. He must be pretty aligned with Hassan, I would imagine.
occasion, you might be suggested to talk to someone who has some crossover with you. It doesn't have to be your ethnicity. It could possibly be someone who shares progressive ideology with you. It could possibly be someone who is of your same gender. I think Ethan understands this concept very well. He listened to these women on his show when they told him that he shouldn't be calling women bitches.
This bitch is intolerable. You are such a nasty fucking bitch, Cam.
I don't know if you can call her a bitch, though.
She is a bitch. She's a fucking. You're right. I call her a see you next Tuesday.
Listen, you have
I'm curious, what do Lena and Sam think about it?
I wouldn't be okay with that.
Yeah.
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 I feel like that it's for the girlies, Ethan. But I
So
agree.
you guys all seem to be in consensus that it's
Well, so soy. Don't call women bitches. But if she's being a bitch, there's no better word to describe someone being a bitch than bitch. You know what I mean? Like, you can call a guy a bitch too. He's being a bitch. It's like, it's not I feel like that's not even really that much of a gendered insult. I mean, I guess the context does kind of change. The context does change. Like, if you're calling a guy a bitch, you're calling him a pussy. If you're calling a girl a bitch, you're saying she's nasty. But I don't know. I don't care. I don't care. I think you should be able to use, misogynistic insults. I think it's funny.
in poor form. I think to respect the women here in the room, I'm going to have
Can Ethan ever say bitch towards a woman? All of his chatter said yes.
to pass on saying that.
The infantilization of Ethan Klein is fucking...
Wait. Can Ethan ever say bitch towards a woman? Yes, he can. He can.
I'm going to have to pass on saying that.
The infantilization of Ethan Klein is fucking nauseating. He's not a child. He is absolutely capable of looking into his son.
Yeah, idubbbz, you're the adult in this situation. You're so adult. Dude, this obsession with like, I'm mature and this guy's acting childish. It's one of the most childlike things ever. To constantly compare people, to look at adults and diminish them by saying they're being childish, I feel like it's just so telling of your own psychology. Like, you're concerned about acting childish all the time. I don't know. It's like when little kids are like, I'm not a kid. I'm not little. I'm a big kid. I'm a grown up. I'm not a baby. You know what I mean?
Learning about his politics, interviewing, doing loads of things to figure out where he stands.
He presents himself as someone like me, a left-leaning Democrat who supports basic things. And for the first time, I noticed an inordinate amount of radical, hardcore leftists. I mean, I thought we were social democrats, not whatever this was. This comment from Hassan really started to sound some alarms in my head. I was already getting uncomfortable with our partnership.
This is all fine. I mean, you could criticize Ethan for like not doing his homework, and I absolutely do criticize Ethan for aligning himself with people like Hassan to begin with. You asked for this to happen to you. Yeah, you did. Because you aligned yourself with these people and made it seem like you agree with them. So of course you're going to attract a big audience of like commie lefty tankies.
I started to wonder if I had any idea.
But like all of the stuff that he said in this video about Hassan is like totally fair.
Who this guy actually is.
You made how many episodes with Hassan? Like, this guy made a fucking program with the biggest mega leftist on the platform. Now he's acting like he was tricked and he was incapable of figuring out what this guy's beliefs were. Bro, I didn't make the fucking leftist program. You did. You made fucking, what, 60 some?
Hold on, guys.
Odd episodes of this shit for hours talking to this guy. You didn't have a problem with any of it until, oh, Ethan talks about being aware.
Well, no, hold on. That's not true either. He had a problem with the like tanky stuff. There were things that unraveled on that podcast before the Israel-Palestine stuff. Like the China-Taiwan thing, or like the debate that they had about socialism versus capitalism. And this is when you could see it start to click for Ethan, like, oh, this guy's like a radical, like, tanky. He's not just like a liberal. That's the thing, is Hassan sells himself as just like, oh, I'm just a casual left-wing guy. I'm like a liberal left-wing guy, and I'm just like progressive on social issues. That's how he gets people in the door. Then once they're in the door, it's radicalizing them into being tankies. That's what Hassan is.
Aware of Hassan's 9/11 comments, and then sort of leaves it at that. Like it was just a joke. Actually, I think Ethan describes them as edgy moments or jokes.
You might remember him from such classics as
America deserved 9/11, dude. Fuck it, I'm saying it.
Now, to be clear, I knew about all these edgy and controversial jokes at the time we made the show together, because who am I to judge?
No, Ethan, those aren't jokes, right? When someone makes a controversial statement like that, that's not them trying to be funny. I can understand why you would conflate the two. That is someone who is extremely frustrated and passionate about a particular topic. In this case, American imperialism and terrorism.
Oh my god. Oh my fucking god, dude. Ugh, shut the fuck up. I hate idubbbz now. I hate him. I actually hate this fucking guy so much. Holy shit, dude.
You could have looked into that.
It's about American imperialism. It's obviously not a joke. He's frustrated with the dynamics of American imperialism and the capitalist patriarchy. Shut up. Shut the fuck up, idubbbz. You're such a loser.
You could have talked to Hassan a little bit more and found out what his international politics opinions are. But you wouldn't even need to do that. You can look at it online. You're not a victim. You weren't tricked. You made 60 some odd episodes. If you didn't want to...
Well, I think one of the things that he was tricked about too was that this guy was a reasonable, like, person. Like, if they had a disagreement about something, because he might be, you know, Hassan is obviously more left-wing than him. And yeah, maybe Ethan didn't do his homework or whatever. But even if he did know that, you would go into a friendly conversation or debate about something expecting that the other person is going to be engaging in good faith and at least try to give you an inch on any point that you might have and actually engage in the conversation. But Hassan is not willing to do that whatsoever. His debate tactic is just fully drilling in his points, not letting you have any leeway with your points. And just framing himself as like the good guy in the conversation. He does this over and over again.
Go down this route, you shouldn't have done it. But that was your fucking choice. You did it. You are an adult. When Ethan and Hila are watching Matt Lieb saying that one state doesn't represent all Jews, they cannot wrap their heads around the idea.
No single person represents all Jews.
I'm just telling you how Jewish people around the world interpret that phrase.
No single person represents all Jews, as no single state represents all Jews.
This is another weird thing.
Oh my
Israel
God.
Israel. This is a lie that I see Hassan and people pander. They say that Israel's going to war on behalf of Judaism. They have never, I don't believe that that's ever been stated. And I don't think Israel ever explains that it's like, I think Israel says it's a place where Jews can go.
Israel's just a place Jews can go? With that slogan, we might actually have peace. You know, if that's all you're defining Israel as, is a place Jews can go. Like, sure, it sounds like America to me. Like, all right.
I don't think that Israel said they represent all Jews. I don't think that's a stance. We're like, hey, displacing Palestinians is all Jewish people.
Ethan is being so disingenuous here to suggest that he doesn't understand what Matt Lieb is saying. Like, he's making a semantic argument. Like, I don't think Israel has said that it represents every last Jew on the planet. I don't think Israel has claimed that. They're not going to say that their most genocidal behavior represents anything to do with them, okay? But what they are going to do is they're going to inexplicably link Israel and Jewishness together, so when they're being criticized, all of a sudden, they have the perfect defense. Oh, another thing I need to mention. There was a...
Yeah, I mean, I think that is something that happens. I do think that people link Israel and Judaism a little bit too much sometimes. I'll admit that for sure.
Tier list. It was called the Who Can Say Habibi tier list. It was presented at TwitchCon as like a panel that was just meant to be lighthearted and fun. And Ethan Klein saw that and he decided that it was anti-Semitic.
Tier list them, and we're going to need your help to discuss.
So again, I mean, this is literally like a racial tier list. This is like a Arab good, less Arab worse. Even if you don't believe the like Sabra thing, which I don't know. I had never even heard of this term Sabra as like a derogatory term for Jews. Ever. And it does say loves Sabra, which is like, so Sabra is like a hummus also, and basically the joke is that Sabra hummus is really bad. However, I do think that like Frogan especially does lean into this ambiguity a little bit. I think she does kind of like that it's ambiguous.
Us and figure out who can say Habibi and who can't.
And also, we have tiers. We have Arab coded. They ask permission to say Habibi. You know, like you got like a white guy who's like, can I say it? Is it a slur? And then love Sabra, which is they're not Arab coded at all.
Now, when I first saw this tier list, I immediately knew what it was doing. I was like, oh, it's a play on the who has the N-word pass and who doesn't tier list. Granted, Habibi is very different than the N-word, but it is a cultural word amongst Arabic-speaking people and Muslim people. Like that is a word that's used. Habibi, it means my love. Oh no, don't do that, Habibi. Oh yes, Habibi. You're my Habibi, I'm your Habibi. So yes, it's meant to be—
Is that what it means? My love?
Fun way that these Arab content creators—
I feel like I thought it was more casual than that. It's like friend or something. Like, yes, friend.
Can express their Arab culture and be proud of it and happy about it, because it's not like they have massive representation on the platform.
Dude, it's just so— I'm just so sick of this. They need representation on the platform. It's not like they have representation. I'm going to steal what Ethan said earlier. This is their representation. This is literally, they're being put in the forefront. Apparently this is the main stage at TwitchCon. How is this not representation? They had Frogan pinned to like the front page of Twitch on a special like women streamers section for like 2 years or something. 2 years straight. She was at the top of that list, pinned. and she still can't crack like more than a few hundred viewers.
Tier list based on race. And nobody has a fucking problem with that. Okay, you have a tier list based on race. Where's the Jewish panel? Where's the Jewish panel? Where at the top it says Jewish. It's a tier list based on...
I think that, okay, I think that more than anything, this tier list is just cringe, I would say. I don't think that they even intended it to be racist. Although I think it's a little weird and cringe. I don't think that it's intended to be racist at all.
Arab to Jew. He's Arab, which is good. That's the best thing you can be on.
But again, like I said, I think the Sabra thing was about the hummus originally, and they like the ambiguity of it.
That's the best. This is racist.
It's more, it's like more edgy. Like they think it's funny that it's edgy more so than anything else, but they will never admit that.
I will say that conveying information through a tier list is not the most effective thing, but Ethan should understand this principle. He did a white slurs tier list with Hassan.
Cracker. I mean, you know what my take is.
We can't put this as an F. Cracker. I mean, that's got to be at least a D, right?
Paleface, motherfucker.
Paleface. I mean, again.
This is funny.
I think that's an F. Hog.
So Hog is my favorite. I use it all the time.
Hassan does love Hog. He loves comparing people to pigs and dogs. I think it's like a Turkish thing where like insulting someone by calling them a pig or a dog or any like dirty animal that's considered dirty is like the worst possible insult. It's like the Turkish N-word is calling someone a pig.
Hassan feel as though they're white guys, so they felt very comfortable talking about white slurs on their tier list.
I think I'm more white than you. What do you think?
I think I'm white. Like, I'm super white.
Can you understand why Arabs might feel comfortable talking about Arab shit on their tier list, Ethan? You're the white guy. You think you're more white than Hassan.
I think I'm...
Well, the equivalent, to be completely fair, the equivalent would be like white-coated. You know, it would be like races. And also, they pointed this out on H3. I'm stealing this. They were also ranking people by race on that tier list. So it was like, you're the most Arab-like, and that is the best on this tier list. I don't know.
I'm more white than you.
So yeah, the white guy can say all the things that he wants, like cracker, but the Arabs can't have their tier list.
I would put him also in Arab. I know Turkish people are different.
Wait. Idub said a slur, guys. Idub said a slur.
You're the white guy. You think you're more white than Hassan.
I think I'm more white than you.
So yeah, the white guy can say all the things that he wants, like cracker, but they...
Oh. Wait. He said it. He did it.
Arabs can't have their tier list.
I would put him also in Arab. I know Turkish people are different.
Notice how they dropped the premise almost immediately that it's about who can say Habibi. And then it's like, Hassan, okay, actually, he's Arab. We fucking love him. He's dope. He's Arab.
Habibi is an Arabic word. That is an Arabic word, Ethan.
Funny about this whole thing is that they say Habibi in Israel. Again, people underestimate just how like mixed Israeli culture is. Like,
we say Habibi in Israel. Yes, Ethan. Another piece of evidence as to why it isn't anti-Semitic.
This is racist.
If you're not Arab or understand Arab culture at all, which is a lot of Americans,
shut the fuck up. Oh my god.
Anti-Semitic, you're just gonna eat it up. It's not Ethan.
Yeah, idubbbz is the white knight of the Arabs, the Arab white knight. He's literally white knighting. It's like I'm the arbiter of like minorities. Come on, dude.
He's just proving his location on this tier list under Love Sabra because he.
I'm just so sick of him fucking virtue signaling about everything all the time. Like, shut up, dude. We get it. You're fucking woke and progressive. No one cares. We all know. You don't need to fucking remind us constantly. It's like every piece of content that he makes now is just talking about how progressive he is. He doesn't even like do anything with it. He just talks about the fact that he's progressive.
Doesn't understand Arab culture. There's a lot of Arabs who eat sabra. There's a lot of people like me who eat sabra. A lot of the times it's all that's in the store and I'm gonna buy it and I'm gonna eat it, but it is not the good shit. Like the average Arab American, they're gonna go in the store and the only option they have is fucking sabra. And that sucks that that's the only option, right? Arab communities and distribution facilities are not widespread across the US. So what are they left with? They're left with a common, relatable, shitty hummus, which is sabra. And what's so fucking pathetic about this whole thing is after he was able to get these Arab creators banned off of Twitch for 30 days, he goes on to talk about how bad sabra hummus is on his show.
I don't think anybody wants to prefer sabra over homemade like restaurant quality hummus. You know, it's what's there.
Like weirdly fluffy.
It is fluffy.
Weird.
Yeah.
I would buy it sometimes and eat it. It's not the best.
The problem is with sabra, in my opinion, it's only good for the first 2 days.
For some reason, like.
Yeah. So. I feel like I remember there being more to them getting banned than just that panel. Am I wrong? No, the panel was the main thing because it was all the people on the panel who got banned. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that. those people getting banned. I do find it funny. I do find it really funny. And it is kind of like Twitch does have double standards. Like if something were that ambiguous, but it was against black people or something, they would immediately ban all the streamers involved. They have terrible double standards when it comes to moderation. But yeah, I don't know. I just don't like when people go after people to get them banned regardless. Like I didn't like when Destiny did it. I don't even like when people go after Hassan to try to get him banned, get him in trouble. Even though I fucking hate Hassan, I just don't agree with the principle of deplatforming people, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know. I know Twitch does it to people all the time, but I don't think eye for an eye is the best fix for that. I think it's better to stop encouraging people to get each other banned from things. End that culture. That sucks.
Like when you eat this Sabra shit, it just feels so much heavier. Imagine eating a whole fucking vat of Sabra. That's crazy.
Yeah. I've never liked hummus.
Oh, okay.
Well, you hate Jews then. I don't.
And Arabs.
Yeah.
This is racist.
Yeah, it's almost like you can have a discussion about Sabra hummus being a bad hummus without it being at all related to a Jewish thing or an Israeli thing. He can have that discussion as much as he wants on his podcast because we all know his intentions are anti-Semitic.
This is what he did. He hit his heart hard.
The Zionism is leading to not accepting other cultures, embracing their own culture, and instead thinking that that is an attack on you. There's this incident on the podcast where they were reacting to Cutie Cinderella.
Why did he blur the video of her crying? Some people need to get banned. I mean, I don't know, dude. I just don't like people getting banned for like racism, if that makes sense. I just think that platforms shouldn't. I mean, Twitch does that anyways. Like they're pretty heavy on that. That was like the biggest point that they had, was that Twitch was hypocritical because it would allow certain things like crazy, like terrorist supporting shit to happen, but yet they would ban other people for way less. But they were giving like special exemptions to, you know, Hassan and the people who agreed with the people who worked at Twitch. So there was a hypocrisy thing there. But in general, I think like I just don't like people getting banned for like speech at all, saying like fucked up things. I just wish that didn't happen, but yeah.
And Ethan was laughing during it. So that ended up being a pretty important wake-up call for Ethan. He made an apology video directed at Cutie Cinderella, and it was graded by a professional psychologist, Dr. Kirk Honda of Psychology in Seattle, and Ethan got an A+ rating.
In terms of a public apology, this is A+.
Ethan won't stop talking about his A+ rating.
You know he rated my apology to Cutie Cinderella a perfect score? A perfect 10.
A perfect 10 out of 10?
Literally 10 out of 10. Go back. I can teach you how to make a good apology. I'm
Right,
best
10 out of 10.
I know what a perfect apology is, lady. You fucking don't. Is my perfect apology in this PowerPoint? Dude, I got a perfect 10 out of 10. This one is actually best apology, so. Ethan Klein, you guys, oh my God.
I was trying really
It's funny. It's just a recurring joke. He's just leaning into it. He's like, I'm so good at apologizing.
hard to think about an impactful moment during this video. Like, could I do something that would really wake Ethan up? And I don't know if this came from a good place or not, but I came up with the idea of getting Ethan's grade changed from an A to a B at least. So I went to visit Psychology in Seattle. I'm not confident that Kirk will change his grade, but it's worth trying. And, you know, we might learn a thing or two.
Xander! Probably get pretty low marks. Unlike me, perfect score, 10. I said, hey, Lud, no wig drama. Why are you such a spineless coward of a person now that you've inserted...
Wait, this was the premise of him going to Psychology in Seattle? He went there to try to get Ethan's apology score changed? Are you serious? That was the premise? He saw Ethan being like really proud of his apology. He's like, I need to get this score changed. He's too proud of it. Dude, it's a fucking recurring joke. It's a recurring joke. Is idubbbz actually autistic? Like, does he not understand that that's like supposed to be a joke? Guys, I'm so good at apologies. My apology actually got a perfect 10. Got a perfect 10. Just brings it up all the time. Dude.
Yourself and your girlfriend into this conversation.
I'm actually baffled at that being the reason why he went to Psychology in Seattle.
Okay, idubbbz, I hear you. You're in the room with me right now. I hear you. I hear your request. I understand it. I can understand where it's coming from. And I I guess, have a policy that when there is a grade for an apology, I am just grading that discrete apology as I see it without taking any consideration of prior or future behavior. If you're wanting me to comment on the overall behavior or the recent behavior from the clips that you have shown me, I believe that Ethan is a good person and that eventually he will feel sorrow and will feel sorry and will apologize, and I will be there to evaluate that apology when it happens, which I know it will.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Dude, are you kidding me? He put that fucking clip. For context, like, this guy was like their friend on the Maximum Damage podcast. This was like idubbbz and Anissa were like just talking so highly of this guy. Oh, he's so good. He's so great. He's our good friend. They've collaborated with him like a handful of times now. And now suddenly when he says, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to change the score based on things that happened after. That's dumb. Oh, brother, this guy stinks. This guy sucks. Boo. Boo. He didn't change the score. Boo. So retarded. What the fuck?
Unfortunately, Kirk did not change his grade, but that's okay because this is the internet. Anyone can have their own official apology.
Unfortunately, he did not change his grade. Why does this bother you so much, idubbbz?
System. So I'm going to rate Ethan's apology a B-. That's just based on my own feelings and my own rubric. When Psychology in Seattle was
like, what is this bit, dude? What is this? So weird.
watching these video clips of Ethan, he said that it looks like Ethan could just use a hug. Now, of course, it kind of pisses me off to hear that shit because I'm like, what are we doing? What are we saying? He needs a hug? No, he doesn't need a hug. He needs a good fucking ass whooping is what he needs. I think something that's very important.
Yeah, and then saying that he needs an ass whooping. This is like the empathetic idubbbz. He needs to get beat up. He needs to get his ass beat.
To me in bringing back Content Cop is to be fair. I think that was something that was not illustrated in previous Content Cops that I think should have been and probably wouldn't have left me with so much
Are you serious, bro?
regret. Something that's very important to me in bringing back Content Cop is to be fair.
The thing that's important to me in bringing back Content Cop, the number one thing, is to be fair. Wow. You were way more fair in all of your earlier Content Cops than you were in this. This was like the most skewed, worst Content Cop ever. I wouldn't even call this a Content Cop at all. Like, it's just categorically not. It doesn't fit. The only thing that is similar to the other Content Cops is like the intro.
I think that was something that was not illustrated in previous Content Cops that I think should have been and probably wouldn't have left me with so much regret. Ethan deserves all of the criticism that he's getting. I think it's very valid. But I also think, at the end of the day, we should acknowledge that he's human because he is human. And he is in a situation that's making him extremely scared, paranoid, defensive, sensitive, and I'm sure other features and feelings. In the spirit of Kirk saying that it looks like Ethan could just use a hug, I have challenged some of his most powerful haters to put down the haterade and just say something nice and charitable about him because I think he deserves it.
I just wanted to say that I respect that you are genuinely yourself on the internet. I think a lot of other people respect you for it as well. I think that's a big reason why people were drawn to your content in the first place. I think that's a lot of the reason why your employees chose to work with you over anyone else.
Ethan, I think it's respectable that you even began this journey to leave behind the anti-SJW crowd and step into a...
Does he... I just feel like he put in all these clips to make, like... I don't know, to, like, negate... Not... What's the word I'm looking for? He's like trying to, like, balance out all the shit that he said with, like, oh, but we still care about you, though. We still care about you. But it's like, no, you just called him, like, a horrible person and an asshole and, like, all of this shit for, like, an hour. What do you mean? Like, you're not being empathetic. You're not being any of this. The way that you're trying to characterize yourself it's not working because of the previous hour of content.
More empathetic worldview. I know it's not easy.
Ethan Klein, I think that when you are being goofy, when you're being
behind the anti-SJW,
Your employees chose to work with you over anyone else.
Ethan, I think it's respectable that you even began this journey to leave behind the anti-SJW crowd and step into a more empathetic worldview. I know it's not easy.
Ethan Klein, I think that when you are being goofy, when you're being silly, when you are being lighthearted, and just having fun with your friends, I think that is when you're at your best. So I'd love.
Oh my god. When you're like not talking about politics, like you're pretty cool. Like all this politics stuff, like do you guys see how this is backhanded? This is so backhanded. Like I think you're pretty cool when you're just being funny and goofy. I don't really like when you're serious and like talk about things that you personally believe in.
Love to see more of that. That'd be sick.
I will be reading my letter off because I don't want to sound robotic.
What?
He should take his own advice.
Yeah, he should take his own advice.
H3 used to be the sports figure that I used to watch. I hope that one day gets back to where I remember. You were one of the inspirations for me to start creating content. So
I hope that one day H3 goes back to how I remember him, before Israel-Palestine. Oh my god, dude.
all this has stunk. I hope you really hear this, and I wish you the best.
I think Ethan Klein rocks a buzz cut pretty good, and I think he's got a good choice of facial hair. I think it's really cool what he did 8 years ago, fighting that frivolous lawsuit. That was pretty fucked up, and fighting it, he changed YouTube for the better. And I thought that was cool because I thought it was like he's fighting for free speech.
I also see the dynamic of Ethan and Eli.
The crying. Guys, I'm so empathetic. Guys, just remember, I'm the empathetic guy.
It's really hard to be a couple online and see people attacking your partner, and it's like, okay, like if you come to their defense, if that.
This is what H3 said earlier on their stream. He's only talking about himself. Ethan hasn't had as hard of a time with like people. I guess he has had people attacking his wife, but that hasn't been that formative to him like it has to idubbbz. You know what I mean? Like people are rude to Ela. People are rude. They say all types of stuff about her. But Ian is not crying because he's being empathetic with Ethan. He's crying because of his own trauma of people attacking Anissa and her flipping out on him and him like changing his entire worldview based on that.
It doesn't always help them, right? Sometimes
you cry dubs.
That makes it worse for them.
And I have been kind of slipping into a very unhealthy place where it's gotten worse and worse, and I get criticized more and more, and I get more defensive and more pulled up, a feeling of almost infallibility that I could take anything on. It led me to make a lot of mistakes, and then when I was criticized for those mistakes, then I would act extremely defensive and nasty and not really processing them in a healthy way.
Well, there we go. Content cop. Not content cop. Not my content cop. Yeah, so I mean, I feel like one of the problems with this is the fact that he tied himself to all of these people was like kind of a huge mistake. Like you could have criticized Ethan in a way that would have been much more effective if you were just like, hey, Ethan has been getting pretty obsessive with this whole drama, and I don't know, dude, like bringing all these people into it to help you make this video just makes you look like you're taking sides more than actually trying to make a fair critique. And that's what Content Cop is supposed to be about. It's supposed to be about fair critiques. Really well thought out fair critiques. And again, this video didn't feel like structured or thought out at all. It felt just very like he got sent all these clips and he just ranted about why he feels like Ethan is wrong and not really thinking out his points fully. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. Just so fucking... I can't believe that idubbbz did this at all. You could have brought Content Cop back in like a way that would have lived up to its original hype. Like even if you made a video, like I said, I think it would have been cringe for him to make a video on like Steven Crowder or something. But I feel like at least then it wouldn't have been this like backstabby, ranty thing where he has all his personal emotions tied into it. I feel like he would have done a much better job if it was about someone that he didn't have all this personal like emotional drama with. It's just so weird. Yeah, and these people all just like damage his credibility. You know what I mean? Like these are the people who you are again tying yourself to. These people are not known for being super fair, credible people. I guess Psychology in Seattle, he's not too bad, but he was barely in this. He was just in this to get a dig at Ethan. But yeah, I don't know. Do you guys think that these are idubbbz's favorite streamers, or do you think that these are Anissa's favorite streamers? Because I feel like these are just people that Anissa likes to watch. And this was like I don't know, encouraged by her. Oh my God, do you guys know? You guys know that clip? Wait. Nisa, idubbbz. Hold on, I'm gonna find the clip.
The Tana thing was my.
Oh, that was so long ago.
Was my idea. Was my stupid idea.
Yeah.
I was the one
He
that was.
suggested like we can go to the place.
The Tana thing was my idea. It was my idea. My stupid idea. Anissa's taking credit for the Tana content cop. Do you guys think that Anissa is also the mastermind behind the H3 content cop? Interesting. Interesting theory. Because I feel like she really is like a big fan of these streamers. And she's in this position because she's dating idubbbz to like network with these lefty streamers that she's a big fan of. I don't know. Like if it wasn't for him, she would be a nobody. She would not be a famous person at all. So it's like only through him can she get close to these people that she's a fan of. I don't know. Yeah, well, I mean, that's it. I was going to watch the H3 reaction to this stuff, but it's too long. It's too long. I can't do that. I've already been streaming for like 3.5 hours. But yeah, so that's going to be it. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. That was a pretty good stream. Hopefully I'll see you guys again soon. I know Erica has some TikTok stuff to go over, so we'll be on at some point, hopefully pretty soon. I'll see you guys later. Have a good night.